Wait, we're gonna get in a fight?
No, a literal storm. Wind, heavy wind. I see a tree falling on your RV.
Oh, that's fine. I'm covered by Progressive. So, is my boyfriend there? Maybe on one knee?
The entire roof is crushed.
So, no ring.
Be prepared for the unexpected with Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Product features subject to policy terms and may not be available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
My son Finn was born with congenital heart disease. He ended up spending about the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. During that time, he endured 10 surgeries, including an open heart surgery. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in my family's life. For 5 weeks when he was a baby, Finn lived in a Starlight Hero wagon. You could not understand the pure joy of having him go from a hospital bed into his favorite red wagon. Starlight doesn't just give items that hospitalized kids can use to keep themselves happy, but also memories, moments, and experiences which are so needed in times like these. They allow sick kids to just be kids for a little while. The support that Starlight provides to families like mine is an integral part to creating happiness at a time when there's very little to be found. Learn more about how Starlight Children's Foundation brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
Are you excited about being a new grandmother?
Of course I am. A little intimidated, too.
Why?
Taking care of a baby today is so different than when I had you.
But Mom, you did great with me.
Thanks, son. But I put you on your stomach to sleep.
Right. But now we know that babies should always be placed on their backs to sleep, for naps and at night, to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS.
You also slept with blankets and toys in your crib.
True. But now we know to keep everything out of the crib except for my sweet baby girl. No blankets, pillows, or other soft or loose items.
Daddy's going to teach Nana all the ways to keep you safe while you sleep. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
For more tips on safe sleep for babies, visit safetosleep.nicehd.nih.gov. That's safetosleep.nicehd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. It's time to get up and get your day started. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker! It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Time for the Thursday, August 8th, 2024 edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you, broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, it's where family and fun come together. All their great summer sales continue at 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Boy, weather-wise, yesterday was absolutely fabulous. When you consider August in Memphis, how nice it was. Hopefully that will continue today. The high projected at 88. 2% chance of rain, but cloudy. And the cloud cover with no rain really in the forecast makes it even nicer. Right now it's currently 71 degrees. Tonight 72 for a low, clear skies. And then your Friday, a little more sun, 88 degrees for a high, 65 for the overnight low. Again, yesterday was so spectacular. Please bottle it up. Give it to us next week for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, Mother Nature. Please. That would be absolutely sensational. Coming up on the program today, of course, we'll update you on everything that's happening in Paris as the Olympics continue, but time certainly winding down. NFL preseason action kicks off week 1 with games tonight. There'll be games tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. We got college football news and some bad news to go around for a few different programs. We will be joined by Kerry Miller at 8:25 to talk Major League Baseball. At 9:05, Jason March will join us Grizzlies assistant coach, former Memphis Hustle head coach. He coached the Grizzlies in the Summer League in both Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. Did a tremendous job, as he always does. He'll join us at 9:05. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Want to talk some SEC quarterbacks and the rankings for those said quarterbacks. And also we'll go over some NFL win totals. We'll do all that on the program today over the course of the next 3 hours. Man, weather-wise, Eli, you couldn't beat what we had yesterday.
Yeah, it's and looking at the forecast, I mean, there is not a high temperature of over 90 degrees forecasted until a week from Saturday.
Please, please. That would be fantastic.
Now, there is right now, not that they have a clue, but next week there is a little more, better chance for rain.
Sure.
Thursday and Friday, but they have no clue.
It's way early.
And it's going to warm up, what they say, it will warm up for the weekend, but it looks like we are in a pretty good weather pattern, I guess related, I don't know if it's related to the hurricane or whatever. I don't know. Don't know all that stuff. But yes, if we can keep this stuff, I'm all for it. That's for sure. August of 85 degrees. Yes, I'll sign up for that anytime.
So
this is perfect weather.
This is great. I mean, yesterday played golf and didn't sweat profusely walking out of my car. That was fantastic. Would love it all the time. We know that's not the case. So take advantage of it while you have it. Also, for the kids who are back in school, some returned on Monday. There's others still returning today. I know Collierville schools begin today. But for the kids and for the teachers and the administrators and everybody in the buildings, it's good that we have this type of weather, because we were not off to a great start on Monday, I think it was. Didn't bring it up earlier in the week, should have. But the schools that opened, they had to dismiss the children just a few hours after opening up the doors because of the air conditioning problems with the MSCS schools. Not all of them, but a number of them. And I'll just say this. That is an absolutely epic failure on the administrators and the people who are in charge of that. You have the whole summer to get the HVAC people out, whoever you need, to make sure that those air conditioners are running and running well to greet the kids and the teachers for the start of the school year. And you don't get it done. Either you didn't do your job getting the HVAC people in, you did, and something else is wrong, like they're old pieces of crap and that you have to get new ones and replace them. I don't know what the case is. But we are back in school, right? This isn't now Zoom meetings like we had during the COVID period. They're back in school. Make sure that everybody is comfortable to learn, because when you're comfortable, you're going to comprehend more, you're going to learn more, you're going to want to be there. But that was just, I saw that, and I forgot to bring it up the other day. That's just, you have one job, epic failure. Get it done. Get it done right. Make sure the kids are comfortable. All right. So we got a lot of the Olympics to talk about. We'll do that in a few moments. We also have the final golf tournament on the PGA Tour before the FedEx Cup playoffs. Next week, the greatest golfers in the world converge on little old Memphis, Tennessee for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. To qualify, you got to be in the top 70. When they leave Memphis, they'll be down to 50. So there's a lot of storylines going into the Wyndham Championship this week, because there's players that are squarely on the bubble. There's also an interesting story where Ricky Fowler has decided not to play in the Wyndham. He's 103 in the points, meaning Ricky Fowler does not qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs. To not step up to the plate, unless he's hurt, and I don't know, I haven't heard anything, is really surprising. It also makes me wonder if Ricky Fowler will be the next PGA Tour member to flee over to LIV. There were rumors last year, didn't happen. He's finding it very tough to win consistently. He won. He finally won a tournament. It was 2 years ago? But he finally broke through. But he has
last year, I believe.
Yeah. So he has finally, I think, I don't know the guy, but you got to think he has come to the point where he starts second-guessing himself. He's one of the most popular players on the tour. And I don't care if he was 69 or 70 in the point standings. He's a great addition to the FedEx Cup playoffs and to Memphis, but he won't be back. So I just wonder. I'm not saying this is the reason why he decided not to play in the Wyndham this week. Could be many reasons. But I would not be surprised if that's a name you'll hear in the offseason about possibly at least looking at the possibility of joining LIV. But you also have storylines like Matt Kuchar, who's 112th in the points, and the only way he gets to Memphis is to win. Now at the 3M, 2 weeks ago, he played extremely well, but it's probably not going to happen. He is the only golfer that has participated in all 17 previous FedEx Cup playoffs, and that streak more than likely coming to an end.
One of the just kind of remarkable, consistent careers on the PGA Tour, Matt Kuchar hasn't won a lot, but up there a lot and has made an ungodly amount of money.
ATM, right? Is that what they call
by
him?
just being really, really good and being around. just don't have to win. You just make a bunch of cuts, contend here and there, throw in a win every once in a while, and you can be really, really wealthy on the PGA Tour.
The defending champion of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, Lucas Glover, who had an incredible comeback year, if you will, last season, is 75th. So he has to have a lot of things happen to get a chance to defend his title. So that will be an uphill battle. Some guys that are inside right now looking good, but you never know when it's all said and done. Jordan Spieth, 62nd, but he's also talked about having to do something at the end of the season. In other words, the possibility of surgery for his wrist. But he will play it out the rest of the year and then see what happens in the offseason.
Yeah, and certainly, hopefully he is, finishes in the top 70, which you'd think he would be able to, and then is here. I mean, he's certainly one of the guys that I think people still like to go watch Jordan Spieth play.
No question.
And here in Memphis, certainly, came as a junior and played here and everything else, but and always entertaining to watch because he certainly lets you know exactly how he's feeling after every shot.
Yeah, he does. He does wear his emotions on his sleeves, and he has been a fan favorite since he entered the game of golf. I'm sure we've told the story many times, but as an amateur, he was invited by the late great Phil Cannon, got an exemption to play in Memphis, and joined us at the Hub during one of our broadcasts. And it was a delight to meet that young man who would go on to win, what's he got, 3 majors or 4 majors right now?
He has 4. He's won. Did he win 2 of one of them?
I think
he's got 3 of the 4.
I think he has 4.
Did he win 2 PGAs?
We'll double check. But either way, he's got 3 or 4 majors. So he's going on to have this tremendous career. He's still young, so you hope that he can figure out his ailment, whatever the case may be. But again, 62nd, pretty good shape to be in Memphis next week. Nick Dunlap is a great story. More than likely, a lot of people that are just semi-golf fans probably have not heard the name Nick Dunlap. Those who follow golf and follow the tour know
he only has
Dunlap.
the 3.
He has the 3.
Okay. PGA is the one he hasn't won. PGA finished second, is the best finished second. He has 1 of each of the others.
So Nick Dunlap is 65th. Again, pretty good shape unless there's just a complete collapse. 2 wins this year. You would think 2 wins, he'd certainly be higher. One of those wins, he was an amateur and then turned pro and won again this year. He has had a great year. You have Johnny Vegas, who came out of nowhere, wins the 3M, jumps from 139 to 66, and right now would be in the field. Victor Perez, who was one of the golfers in the Olympics representing France, is right there at number 70. Now, he would be 71, but Grayson Murray, who unfortunately and tragically took his own life, who would have been in the top 70, with his passing, everybody moves up a spot. So Perez is 70, but that's shaky going into Wyndham. And Davis Riley would be on the outside looking in at 71. So a lot of storylines this week at the Wyndham, although the big names are not playing.
Yeah, they are obviously these guys that have been over there at the Olympics playing and now come back, and Scotty Scheffler will be making his first appearance since winning the gold here in Memphis. That'll be cool. What if I wear the gold medal? At like the press conference.
It would weigh him down.
At the press conference.
That would be cool. Maybe he pulls it out at the press conference. But, yeah, it's an incredible year.
I would use it to mark my ball.
Can you move it 7 to the left, please? Because that's a big medal. Yeah, look, every year Memphis gets the chance to watch the greatest players in golf today. And that will be the case next week. Now, it's interesting over the years here in Memphis, we've had big names win and we've had no names win. Incredible how that is. And that's probably the case for most tournaments. But to see what's happened in recent, think about it. Daniel Berger is a name. He's won twice in Memphis. But then he had the injuries. Will Zalatoris has won. He has struggled with the back. Lucas Glover wins last year. This year, it looks like he won't even make it back to Memphis unless he has a great week this week at the Wyndham to defend his title. And then, of course, over the years, all the big names that have won in Memphis. I mean, it's a who's who. So next week is going to be a lot of fun. I would imagine the guys like Scheffler and most of them that aren't playing this week will converge on Memphis Sunday. Get out there and play a practice round. Certainly by Monday.
Sunday, Monday yet. I mean, obviously, a lot of the guys most of those guys are familiar with the golf course, have played it, everything else. So, but they'll be in. I assume they are not hanging around for the closing ceremonies, but I don't know.
Oh, I can't imagine. That's a long wait.
But I would assume they are gone from there. But so yeah, I would think there's a good chance that many of them will be here. But we shall see. I mean, you talk about Lucas Glover. I mean, Lucas Glover last year won the Wyndham to get. I don't know if he needed it to get in, but I mean, certainly he could secure a spot. He obviously has a track record at the Wyndham Championship as well.
That's right. And again, we'll have wall-to-wall coverage as we do every year and have for years on this program and on this station. We'll be out there with all the shows broadcasting live from, is it called The Hub? Is that what we're in? What's it technically called? Right there off of 18th
yes, I believe
Fairway.
It's still called The Hub, yes.
Okay, so you can come by and see us. We'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week.
Next Wednesday will be the Pro-Am, as a lot of the players will be in action out there. That's raising a lot of money for St. Jude, just like the rest of the tournament. But you could see those guys in action. They'll all be playing like 9 holes. But I've got 4 tickets for next Wednesday for the Pro-Am that I will give to caller number 3. Caller number 3. 360-8255, 360-8255. If you want to go out next Wednesday for the Pro-Am and watch the guys in action, 4 tickets for next Wednesday's Pro-Am for caller number 3 at 360-8255. That's 360-8255. The Sissies Log Cabin listener line, caller number 3, 4 tickets for next Wednesday's Pro-Am.
Very nice. Good way to start off the show. And, of course, we will have great guests all week long, including our shows here in studio Monday and Tuesday. In fact, Rick Shadyac is going to join us on Tuesday from Alsac, St. Jude, and, of course, the job he does with his staff in raising money for that great organization. So he'll be with us on Tuesday. All right, before we talk about what happened yesterday at the Olympics, kind of a recap, what's on tap for today, other than, of course, the big I was going to say University of Memphis, the big USA and Serbia men's basketball semifinal.
Yeah, today's a good day. You got that going on. That's this afternoon. That's at 2:00 today. USA basketball against Serbia. Right before that, Noah Lyles. He goes to try and make it the double gold. The 200-meter finals will be this afternoon at 1:30.
We do have our winner, by the way. We do have our winner. We have our third caller. Thank you very much.
You've got the USA women's water polo team.
Yes.
The men won yesterday against Australia to get to the semifinals. Today, the women play Australia in the semifinals. Our women's volleyball team plays a semifinal today as well. That's actually this morning. That's, I think, 9 o'clock our time against Brazil.
Our men lost, right, in the semis?
Yes, the men lost to
Poland?
Yes, Poland.
Yeah. So they'll play for the bronze.
And then you've got, there's actually a lot, what's the woman's name that's running in the 400, that's really good in the 400-meter hurdles. Like, there's some really good track and field stuff today. Lyles is kind of the highlight, but there's some other pretty good stuff as far as track and field goes today. Some finals where, again, America looks pretty darn good to win a bunch of gold medals.
Well, perhaps we get some of those medals, as you mentioned, in water polo. Certainly an interesting sport to watch. Those swimmers / athletes, whatever they call the water polo athlete, incredible to be able to do that.
It was a hell of a comeback yesterday by our men. They were down early in that match, and then they were down like 5-3 at half, but they were down like 5-1 early on or something like that.
Really?
And then came back and were able to end up winning it, I think, in a shootout, if I'm not mistaken. They went to a shootout and they were able to win.
Well, I don't know what the projections were for both our water polo teams, but I know we were expected to do better in beach volleyball. But yesterday, the final tandem, the women had already been eliminated, all the teams. The final tandem for the men eliminated, so no medals in beach volleyball for the United States.
First time ever.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's where we have done pretty well. Of course, as you mentioned, in the regular volleyball, still pretty good and still a chance with the men to get a bronze. So yesterday, you had women's basketball quarterfinals. United States beat Nigeria 88-74. A little tougher than people would have thought for a team that had won 58 straight, but make it now 59 straight. They take care of business. They move into the semis. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, United States versus Australia. Australia knocked off Serbia.
Yeah, it was the score, like they were up by 30 at one point. Like it got in garbage time. Nigeria ended up making it a little closer than what it actually was. But Asia Wilson and Brianna Stewart and all that, like, again.
They have too much size for most of these teams.
And the world has not caught up in women's basketball. We are way better than the world in women's basketball. And I can't imagine a team would play them into a single-digit game. I think in Tokyo they beat Australia by like 30. I would guess that there's probably a pretty good chance that they'll beat Australia by 20 to 30 again tomorrow.
I don't know if you know this by now, but we are the world. We are the children. We are the ones. Quincy Hall yesterday, incredible finish for the United States. Reels in 3 runners in the final, 30 meters, and wins the 400-meter and captures gold. 43.40 seconds. 43 seconds for 400 meters, the 4th fastest time ever. It was, you watched it, right?
It's incredible.
He's laboring down. I don't know how he caught all those guys.
He ran the last 50 meters in 5.94 seconds. He ran his first 50 meters in 6.16. So, sprinting around the track for 400 meters, he was faster at the end than he was at the beginning. And the last guy he had to catch, he was the exact opposite. He ran the first 50 meters 0.24 seconds faster than he ran his last 50 meters. There's just no way running. Again, I don't like to watch guys just flat out sprint 400 meters is incredible. Like I don't even understand it. But to have that gear at the end, I don't even understand how that's possible. But it was like, it did not look like he had a chance. And then he was just like, okay, I'm not going to allow this to happen. See y'all later, and gone.
I know we use the term will your way an awful lot in sports. He willed his way to a win. She willed her way to a win. That was what I would put as the defining moment of this Olympics, of willing your way to a win. You watch the agony on his face. He was laboring, but he wanted it. Look, they all wanted it. There's no question they all want it. But I think he wanted it just a little bit more. To be able to do that while laboring himself to run down those last three, or those front three runners, to get it done was incredible. So
apparently
great job by Quincy Hall.
There's like a little bit of a little beef between him and Noah Lyles.
Over what?
I guess Noah Lyles at some point was asked for, and I don't know why, but he was asked a question about like his dream or the perfect 4x400 relay, and he did not include Quincy Hall on it.
Oh, Noah didn't. Okay.
So I don't know why or whatever, but then Hall, I think, had some things to say yesterday after the race about maybe Lyles would now recognize him or something like that. So I don't know. It's a bit strange, but apparently there's a little bit of a beef between two. Speaking of the 4x400, by the way, and the name Quincy, different Quincy. Quincy Wilson, the 16-year-old, will run for the U.S. in the preliminaries.
Was there a question he wasn't going to run? They just added him? Is that what it was?
He's an alternate. He's in the relay pool. But he will run in the preliminaries, which 16 years old running. I can't. That's crazy. A 16-year-old running in a 4x400 relay. He ran like his times are silly. Like he ran, I think, like 2 months ago or something. He ran, I can't remember, like a 44 something or a 43 something. I was like, God, at 16 years old, how in the world are you capable of doing that at 16 years old?
You're still not fully formed at 16 years of age. You're still growing. So, yeah, that's pretty amazing in of itself. You mentioned Noah Lyles into the 200-meter final today after finishing second in the semifinals. And the announcers were saying how he wants to win even the preliminaries. He wants to win every single time out there. So probably was a little mad not winning in the semis, but the top two advance. And maybe that gives him a little extra motivation. Not that Noah Lyles needs it for the 200 today. And then there was the steeplechase. Now, I know of the steeplechase. I know what it's all about. But I had to look it up last night to find the origin of the steeplechase, which really originates from horse racing and maybe more dressage.
It's the most bizarre event there is. Like,
it's certainly one of them.
I like every time I watch it, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Like, why is this a track and field? Why do we just put a pool of water on the track? Like, I don't understand. Like, I get it if you want to put some barricades up, the guys have to jump over, but why are we jumping into water?
Jumping into what? You might as well put a pool and let them swim to the other side and then continue to run.
Every time I watch it, I'm like, what the hell? Why is there a pool of water that they have to jump into? Like, what? Why was that a thing? Like, I don't understand. Like, when they were designing this race, let's put some barricades up, and then on one of them, on the other side of it, you land in water. And everybody was like, yeah, sounds like a good idea. I love that idea. Let's go with it.
It goes back to, I believe, Ireland or Scotland, and it has the history of the horses. When they would do that and they turned it into, well, let's have human beings do it. That's why you have the water involved in that thing. Of course, you have the hurdles. And Kenneth Rooks from the United States got the silver. That was a great push by Kenneth Rooks. And then all of a sudden, he said, I think I stunned everybody. And then the guy who ended up winning, I forget where he was from, tall guy, looked like Freddie Mercury. Anyway, he came out of nowhere and just blew him away at the end. But Rooks still hung on to finish second and get the silver.
One dude from, was it Ethiopia, who got seriously injured?
Yes, he was taken to the hospital. I don't know if he's in good spirits, but he's okay, as his pride certainly isn't. But they said his teammates all came to the hospital and were able to see him and talk to him. But yeah,
I don't understand how
he dropped like a rock, that guy.
I don't understand how you become a steeplechaser. Like, how that's your thing. Like, as a youngster, like, hey, I want to do that one. I like the one where you jump into the pool of water.
See, Costanza would have been good with the steeplechase because remember he jumped like a girl over the puddle. Remember? And they started calling him a sissy. That's what happens, It all goes back to Seinfeld.
I always like when you're designing a track, like a stadium, like you're like, oh, that's right. Somewhere we have to have the spot where we can put the water in for steeplechase. Like you're designing a track. We forgot the pool. Dig a hole over there. We're going to have to put water somewhere for this damn steeplechase they hold every year.
I'm telling you, you can come up with all kinds of cockamamie things in a race where you do 10,000 different things. Of course, triathlons, like, I don't know how that originated, but it's like we're going to swim, we're going to bike, we're going to run, we're going to do it all. It's going to be one race, but it's just different parts to the race. So this just happens to have water where you land in and hurdles that you jump over. Shoot 360 Memphis. Maybe they could put that in there as well. You jump into the pool water, you jump over a hurdle, you shoot a basketball. And if you go to Shoot 360 Memphis, you're going to be a better shooter. So maybe when they invent this event for the Olympics, you have a chance to win a gold medal. No, in all seriousness, if you're looking to become a better shooter, a better all-around basketball player, Shoot 360 Memphis is the place for you. This is a revolutionary training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with expert coaching to improve shooting skills. Speaking of expert coaching, I ran into Scott Adebato yesterday, who is a longtime coach who coached with the Grizzlies. Years ago, was an assistant coach with the Grizzlies, has coached at the collegiate level, the NBA level. He is one of the instructors, Scott Adebato. They have a great staff that can help you at Shoot 360 Memphis. Plus, they have the advanced shooting machines to provide real-time feedback on your shooting accuracy and the arc and depth of your shot, which will make you more successful as a shooter. Players can track their progress and analyze their performance. Currently, they're now in Collierville, where they've been for a while, but now the new state-of-the-art facility has opened up in Cordova. So 2 different locations for you. You can become a member at either or at both, and you can do so with a monthly membership, not a long-term membership that's going to bog you down. They transition now to monthly memberships. So again, like I said, you can become a member at either or a member at both. Just give them a call at 901-316-5500. Set up a tour, check out the facilities today, or go online to sign up. Shoot 360 Memphis is where the preps and pros go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have a limit there that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with a qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual fees and verified location for your Medicare practices at totalwireless.com.
Stop what you're doing and listen to this. Your God-given freedoms are up for the taking, and those doing the taking are the same people who've sworn to defend your freedom. They think they can control the media, hide the truth, and force their delusions onto your family. You know what they can't take away? Self-reliance, peace of mind. Got water filtration? You should. A charged solar generator? You better. Emergency food on your shelf? Get it now from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the most trusted name in survival, and for damn good reason, too. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and save $200 on their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. It delivers over 2,000 calories per day, plus sealed inside practically unpierceable packaging. It lasts up to 25 years. Oh, and did I mention it's delicious? Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and save $200 per kit. Includes fast and free shipping. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Hi, it's Colin. I just discovered J-Lab headphones, and I am totally hooked. J-Lab imagines and delivers personal tech, headphones, earbuds, and office accessories that consumers want. Try the J-Buds Luxe over-ear headphones for noise-canceling travel. Discover your perfect pair of headphones. Look for the J-Lab Blue Box at Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and more. Or visit jlab.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Trying to clean up the paperwork on the earlier wreck in the Midtown area. 240 northbound at South Parkway. It's been dragging up through there for a while. Traffic's on the increase. I-40 over here coming westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way to Sycamore View Road. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
United States women's 4x100 meter relay team wins their qualifying heat, led by Sha'Carri Richardson. I would imagine they are the favorites, or at least one of the favorites, to win it all.
She just flew past. I don't know what country it was that was in front of her.
That was Germany.
She made that girl look like she was standing still, man. It was just like, all right, goodbye, see ya. Like I felt like it was like Roadrunner, like watching the Roadrunner. Beep, beep. She just, that poor girl was like, what the hell just happened? Who did that? But we had a problem with another hand. Our relays, we always have problems with our handoffs. We can't get that stuff down.
Yeah, they need to bring a quarterback in and a running back and just show them how it's properly done, handing the ball off.
Raider Corey texted us that on the steeplechase, who wants to run in wet shoes? Yeah, man, it'd be annoying as hell. I just don't think just such a bizarre thing that they, like somebody at some point thought in this event, one of the times you go over one of these barriers, there should be water on the other side of it for some reason.
Right. They're wearing the new Nike Wets.
Like, was it just accident? Like, did they do it one time like it had rained and there were like a puddle right on the other side? Like, you know what? Actually, this kind of works. It's kind of cool when you land in water over the top of it.
There's just some weird stuff going on. I was watching, this is not weird, but table tennis. When we walked in here to start the show, I was watching a Frenchman go up against the Chinese guy. Chinese guy was up 2-0, but the Frenchman was giving him all he could handle in that third game. And they're just hitting it so hard, or they're putting so much English on it. I don't know how they even see the ball, let alone return it. But that's always fun to watch. Again, the only time you ever watch it, every 4 years during these Summer Olympic Games. All right, NFL preseason week 1. Of course, we had the Hall of Fame game, which went 2.5 quarters. But tonight we do have 2 games on the docket. Tonight it's the, NFL preseason, Panthers at Patriots, Lions at the Giants. Of course, the Lions and the Giants just had the scuffle in the dual practice, but they're the 2 tonight. Then there'll be games tomorrow night, Saturday, and Sunday. Of course, the Patriots got to figure out what they're doing with the quarterback situation there. They drafted Drake May 3rd overall, but I don't think he'll start game one. I think it will be Jacoby Brissett. But Joe Milton is also showing some good things to the Patriots hierarchy, including Gerard Mayo in his first year as the head coach, the post-Bill Belichick era. Panthers, you got Bryce Young. I'm not sure if he's scheduled to play tonight or not, but they got to figure out a way to protect that guy. And then with the Lions and the Giants, Lions pretty much established after last year. We know what they're capable of doing. I wonder if Motor City Dan Campbell will go for it less on 4th down now. Will he reel it back a little bit, or will he still be the gambler?
I'm going to guess no.
I'm guessing you're correct. And then, of course, the Giants, you'll get a chance to see, I would think, Malik Neighbors tonight. I don't know if they're going to hold him out. Who knows anymore with these teams and what they end up doing with their high-priced rookies, whether or not they want to get them into playing time in the preseason in these games or not. At least you got to get some playing time, I would imagine, especially for first-timers to get their first real taste of the NFL. Yesterday we were talking about that Lions story, the Lions and the Giants, and the fines now from the NFL, where they got hit with a $200,000 fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not the players, the teams. Well, yesterday it wasn't a dual practice. It was just a practice involving the Seattle Seahawks. And during this practice, cornerback Trey Brown got into it with a couple of players, but he got into it with DK Metcalf. Pretty big guy, by the way. Who proceeded to take his helmet off, swing it at Trey Brown, misses Trey Brown, and hits Kevon Wallace in the helmet with his helmet. Luckily, he had the helmet on, of course. But you have this little melee in the practice for Seattle. Does the NFL get involved with that? I guess it doesn't matter if it's just your team as opposed to a dual practice.
Yeah, I assume that they don't care if you're just fighting each other.
You're taking off your helmet, swinging it like a weapon.
Well, the thing is, too, not a very smart move by DK Metcalf in any way, shape, or form. One, the helmets in camp have the extra little...
They're gigantic.
Whatever padding thing. I don't know what that thing's called. There's a name for it, but they have that. They're all wearing that. So, you swinging that basically with a pillow on it, hitting another guy in the helmet with a pillow on it, probably not going to do much damage. And now you're without a helmet. That Trey Brown had already punched one dude in practice. So now you're a sitting duck for him to be able to hit you because you don't have a helmet on if he wants to.
You know what they look like when they wear those extra large helmets? Remember, what was the movie? It was called Spaceballs. Rick Moranis. You ever see that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Dark Helmet. Remember Rick Moranis, Dark Helmet? Let me see if I can pull up the picture of him. That's what it looked like. Those helmets are huge. But I assume they're doing the job of, one, protecting the player, two, protecting the player from DK Metcalf swinging his helmet.
Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't be fighting DK Metcalf.
No, I wouldn't either.
But, again, not a very smart move by DK Metcalf. With that padding thing on there, that is not going to do much damage, especially if you're one versus the other.
We will do our NFL picks the week leading into week number 1, so it's a ways away. We do it each and every year. But while we're not breaking down win totals, I do want to just right now off the cuff, without doing any preparing for this, any preparation, here's some win totals I saw. It's not all the teams, but it's just some of the higher win totals. And first thought, tell me over, under. Again, without dissecting each one of these teams' rosters and where they are. This is from FanDuel. The highest win totals, as you would imagine, two teams in the Super Bowl last year. 49ers and the Chiefs, 11.5. Again, 17-game schedule. I think it'll become an 18-game schedule sooner than later. But 11.5, 49ers, Chiefs.
I would go over on the 49ers, under on the Chiefs.
Under on the Chiefs. Do they take a step back, or is it just going to be one of those 11 wins?
No, they're going to be really good. They very well could win the Super Bowl, but I think in the regular season, I'll take just in the AFC alone, it's just difficult. So I would go under.
Okay. You have 5 teams that are projected for their over-under at 10.5. This again from FanDuel. We'll take them one at a time. The Eagles.
Under.
The Ravens.
Over.
The Lions.
Over.
The Bills.
Under.
I agree with that. The Bengals. It's a
under.
tough one. That's a tough one because of Burrow. And then the next group is 9.5, and there are 6 of them. Your Cowboys.
Over.
The Packers.
Under.
The Jets.
Over.
They're going to be the most scrutinized team all year long, but you go over 9.5 with the Jets. Falcons.
Under.
Texans.
Over.
Dolphins.
Over.
Over with the Dolphins. Okay. So yesterday, college football, we had mentioned this on the air about the injury to C.J. Baxter, the running back for Texas, and that the MRI was going to take place yesterday. Well, the MRI took place, and it is not good. He will require surgery. It's a knee injury. So Texas, welcome to the SEC, my friends. You lose a big part of your offense. Now, they have other running backs. It's Texas, for goodness sakes. They have depth. Jaden Blue will be a guy that will get even more of a payload from Steve Sarkisian running the football. And you have the great Quinn Ewers at quarterback. But C.J. Baxter is a big loss for Texas before the season even starts.
Yeah, that's a costly one for a team that is expected to contend not just to get into the playoff, but could be a national championship type team. That is a massive, massive loss for them. Yes, do they have other running backs? Yeah, but you can't. You hate to lose a starting running back before the season even starts, just hurting depth, everything else at that running back position. That is a big one, really big one.
When we come back, the news yesterday about Jim Harbaugh and his days at Michigan and his future if he decides to go back to college football and that craziness. We'll do that when we return.
Genesis Diamonds has a special deal going on right now for you. This is one of their most aggressive offers ever. All GIA diamond engagement rings are marked down an extra 20% below their everyday price. That's right. All the GIA certified diamond engagement rings marked down an extra 20% right now. GIA is the world standard in diamond grading, certifying accuracy and documenting quality, so you can buy and know you're getting absolutely quality when it comes to these diamonds in these engagement rings. So right now, if you're thinking about popping the question, you're thinking about getting engaged, this is a great opportunity for you to head over to Genesis Diamonds and take advantage of this generous deal that they're offering. It's for a limited time only. They've got a great selection. And with their GIA Diamond Extravaganza, you can save 20% on these rare, precious diamond rings. Again, just for a limited time, so take advantage of it. Get over and see them at Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They can't get that Central Barbecue location on Central back open soon enough.
It's still going to be a little while. They do things right at Central Barbecue. That's why every location is so unique.
I know, but there's a lot of different Central Barbecue locations. But I miss the OG, the Central Barbecue on Central.
You know, it's going to be completely different.
Well, not completely.
Yeah, when the Central Barbecue location on Central reopens, it'll be bigger, nicer, more streamlined.
But still on Central.
That's about the only thing. For the time being, until they tell us different, you can't go wrong with any of the Central Barbecue locations.
You know, I think we broke our record for saying Central Barbecue the most times in a Central Barbecue commercial.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns, to turnovers, and overturned plays.
After review, pass is incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV, and a new phone. Excludes digital only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
For
off-road cruiser styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low slung seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors for this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to Busetto Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with premium style and performance to enjoy every second. Never use the street as a racetrack with a long If you own a business, you know Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. Luttrell has cost-effective belts, conveyor components, and 24/7 on-site service to keep you operating smoothly. Text are just a phone call away at 800-441-8946 or online at LuttrellBelting.com. Luttrell's Memphis plant stocks belting in nearly every size and finish, and if they don't have it, they'll make it. From ordering to selection, fabrication, and installation, your Luttrell sales rep is there for you. Luttrell Belting keeps you moving.
So yesterday, the NCAA announced a 4-year show cause for former Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh, who is now the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. The reason? Impermissible contact with recruits and players while access was restricted during the COVID-19 pandemic. So it effectively bars him from college athletics until August of 2028. The NCAA said Harbaugh, who of course led Michigan to the national championship last year, engaged in unethical conduct, failed to promote an atmosphere of compliance, and violated head coach responsibility obligations. And right now he's probably sleeping right now, but getting ready to sip a glass of warm milk in his khakis and laughing all the way to the bank. The guy won a national championship with his alma mater, cashed in, going back to the NFL where he's had success, and now he's given this who cares show cause. I don't believe Jim Harbaugh is going to be out of a job in 4 years. I think he's going to have a lot of success. He may never want to go back to college. It's not like he's 25 years old, so probably NFL will be his last stop. Who knows? I don't know if he even cares about this. I don't care about this. Again, after the fact, and what he is accused of, yeah, at the time with COVID-19, Wild Wild West, things were done that was, beyond the rules. But come on, man. This is 2024 now. I couldn't care less about this.
This shows a lot of the issues with the NCAA and what they can do and can't do and all of these things. Because that's the thing, is that a coach can leave, and then what can you possibly do to him other than hand down some penalty in case he goes back? But he's not coming back, so it ends up being really no penalty at all for that coach. It also, part of it is a little, we're talking about like 2 breakfast meetings. Really, it's because he lied about it, is why he's getting even the penalty he's getting.
And he didn't cooperate with the investigators.
But it just cracks me up because his whole thing the other day about the Connor Stallions thing, he said, never lie, never cheat, never steal.
Right.
That's what he's been raised on and all these things, and that's what he preaches. But in this case, he blatantly lied. They know he lied. He claimed these meetings never happened, but they know they happened. So why should we believe you on the Connor Stallion stuff? You blatantly lied about this stuff. You lied about something that didn't matter. You lied about 2 breakfast meetings.
And you indirectly stole because you stole signs. Connor Stallion stole signs for Michigan. And if you believe that Jim Harbaugh had nothing to do with it or just wiped his hands clean of it and didn't know, you're ridiculous. You're out of touch. But yeah, he denies that. He denies having these meetings. You can deny all you want. You can believe whatever you want. Sometimes you believe those lies. I don't know Harbaugh from Adam as far as personally what he means. He might be the biggest hypocrite in the world. But again, the Connor Stallions thing, he's not directly penalized. This is from the COVID breakfasts and things of that nature. And like you said...
Yeah, the Connor Stallions stuff is not done.
Yeah, that's not done yet.
This has nothing to do with that.
But this, again, okay, even if he cooperated, even if he said it happened, really? That you're getting a 4-year show cause for having a couple of breakfasts that were impermissible at the time because of the restrictions caused by the COVID pandemic. Okay, he broke the rules. I get it. What was...
No, again, he's getting it because he lied about it.
Well, the combination of everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
the NCAA doesn't like when you lie and try and cover stuff up. Like that's if he would have admitted it, it wouldn't be this, and I use air quotes, severe of a penalty. But the fact that he's claiming these things did not happen when they clearly did happen, that's when the NCAA that's when they get angry and come down with harsher penalties.
Sure, but how cooperative
it's just like it's the whole Bruce Pearl thing.
I was just bringing that up. Yeah.
The cookout. Like, it isn't the cookout, it's the fact that you lie about it and try and cover it up and act like it never happened. If you just admit it, you're not going to get that big a penalty.
But how many of these coaches that are caught red-handed cooperate? None of them cooperate. They always have deny plausibility. They always say that first, and maybe they give in the end, but they never come out and say, hey, you got me. You got me. And what was Pearl's penalty again? What was his show cause?
I don't
2
remember.
years?
I don't remember how long his was.
I mean, this seems excessive, but they don't like Harbaugh. But he's gone. He's in Los Angeles. He's in sunny LA getting ready for a return to the NFL. So, again, and then Sherrone Moore, people could say poor Sherrone Moore, but according to the draft that came out about the possible penalties from the Connor Stallions thing, accuse him of not only knowing, but having the relationship with Stallions, and at least through texts that were deleted, that he covered up by deleting the texts. So we'll see what happens with him.
It's not, I mean, if you delete a bunch of text messages the day the report originally came out, clearly you're trying to hide stuff. You're trying to cover it up. And you're dumb because they're going to get the text messages anyway. But nonetheless, that's on top of things. But it shows that you are clearly trying to cover up something. Like you didn't just coincidentally that day decide to delete a bunch of texts between you and Connor Stallions. Like, you're clearly trying to hide something. And again, they're going to figure it out. Like, especially on text messages. Like, if you think those text messages have disappeared from the world and can never be found again, you're an idiot. But it just shows like you're not willing to cooperate. And Jim Harbaugh, in that case, would not cooperate at all. Jim Harbaugh never wants to cooperate with them, but Jim Harbaugh doesn't care because he knew he was going to the NFL.
He doesn't care at all.
Matter.
He doesn't care at all.
The NCAA had a perfect opportunity last year to keep them out of the playoff, let it go anyway, and now there's nothing they can do about it. They're screwed at this point. There's nothing they can do about it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You have Sherrone Moore, who more than likely will end up being suspended for a couple of games, right? We know that Harbaugh was suspended for the first 4, was it last year, or 3?
First 3, last 3.
First 3, last 3. Moore will probably be suspended for a few games. Okay. No harm, no foul. He has a great staff. Michigan's not as good as they were last year, but they're still good. And he'll be back at the job. He and Harbaugh and the rest of the staff and the whole Connor Stallions thing was not only stealing signals, stealing signs, stealing plays, being on the sidelines of other teams, the whole kit and caboodle. Jim Harbaugh, again, I know he lied. I know he wasn't cooperative. He got a 4-year show cause, again, with the NCAA after he had already left to go to the NFL, but a 4-year show cause, which, think about it, if your name's not Jim Harbaugh, your name's Sherrone Moore, and let's say you got fired after a couple of years, and I don't know if he will. I mean, I think Michigan will be good. But if you did, that would be rough because, where do you bounce back and find that job? It's not like the NFL is knocking down the door to become a head coach there. So what's a worse? What's worse? Having these breakfasts with these players, with these prospective players, recruits, beyond when you should during the COVID pandemic, or having somebody on your staff going to other games, infiltrating other programs and stealing signs. What's worse? This guy got a 4-year show cause. Moore will probably be suspended for a couple of games. Which one's worse?
Well, again, it was Jim Harbaugh's staff.
I know.
Jim Harbaugh's the guy in both of them.
I know. It
Cheryl
is.
Moore is just an assistant coach. It was Jim Harbaugh's the head coach.
Right, but they knew what was going on. Your point. They knew what was going on. They've delayed everything. They don't have the teeth, the NCAA, that they think they have, or maybe at one point they did once have. And so there'll be a penalty for Harbaugh will be named again in the Stallions thing. And again, he's laughing all the way to the bank. He's in Los Angeles coaching the Chargers. But when you think about it, if you just take the two situations, the dealing with the recruits compared to the stealing of the signs, there's no comparison in my opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
But you and everybody else didn't want to punish the players last year.
No, see, it's a rocky road with the players. You know, they've done all their jobs. They did all that work off season, during the season. They get to that point, and they're just going to pull it from them because of these idiotic coaches.
They chose to play for cheaters.
Do you think
there should be a penalty for that?
Do you think those players knew that staff
it doesn't matter.
had somebody stealing signs?
It's just like the Canadian players, whatever. I don't care. You're part of that program. Don't choose to play for cheaters.
I see. I don't agree. I don't agree. How about if we were an outfit here at this station? We laundered money from the Mexican cartel. We were involved. This station, we don't know about it. We should be penalized.
We're not gaining an advantage in that, or that doesn't make us like we're not gaining something from that.
But those players don't know they're gaining.
It doesn't matter. Are they gaining?
I don't know. I that one I'll argue with you. But I understand if you have it my way, then you're probably going to be light on the penalty, and then we're going to look at it in hindsight and go, what are you going to do, take down the banner? I mean, you're going to erase from your memory the national championship? Anyway.
This hour of the program is brought to you by Big Green Egg. Go to biggreenegg.com. Check out all the different sizes of the egg, all the egg accessories, all the information you need to know about the best grill there is. Whether you're trying to cook low and slow for many hours with a Boston butt or some ribs, or you're firing it up to 700 degrees to sear a steak, or heck, maybe even bake a cake. Whatever it is you need to do, want to do, it allows you to do it and very, very easily. Plus the lifetime guarantee as well. You get it all with the Big Green Egg.
All right, when we come back, we'll open up hour number 2 talking SEC quarterbacks. And then at 8:25, we shift gears and we get into Major League Baseball conversations with Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Maybe, like me, you're not a morning person. Maybe you, like me, like to sleep in. That's why Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar both serve breakfast until they close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no law that says you can't have the freshest, tastiest, all-around bestest breakfast in Memphis for lunch. Just head to either Sunrise location and proudly order yourself some eggs, some signature house-made square biscuits, or maybe even throw in a Bloody Mary. It's your breakfast. Have it when you want. And, of course, have it at Sunrise.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Tigerville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner. So whether you're planning for retirement or trying to save up for your next big adventure, Vanguard will help work alongside you to set personalized investment goals. That's the value of ownership. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianellerroofing.com.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It looked like they were dodging some type of debris a few minutes ago, eastbound. That's going outbound on Bill Morris there at Ridgeway. It's still a bit crowded right now with some traffic trying to get up through the Midtown area. Nothing like it was earlier. We had that crash up there near South Parkway. That's flowing a whole lot better than that section of Midtown. Havenly Showers is your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversions. Log on today, havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back to school, kids and parents and grandparents, who's ever driving the kids. Man, we didn't have to do that when we were young. We just walked. A couple of miles, we walked. There was no lines of parents waiting for the kids to have to pick them up and drop them off. It wasn't the same. You felt safer than you did or do in this day and age.
I rode a bus. I didn't walk.
We didn't have a bus, man. We walked. 73 degrees.
It's been a long walk for me.
It was a long, man, I think about how long we walked, how far of a walk it was to school and from school every single day. 73 degrees, it'll get up to 88 today, but really the weather yesterday was fantastic. Hopefully it will continue today. I think it will. Very, very minimal chance of rain, although it is overcast out there today. 72 for a low tonight under mostly clear skies, and tomorrow mostly sun, a little bit of clouds, high of 88 degrees.
We did have a texter who said if they came up with the steeplechase in the middle of summer in Memphis, that yes, I would want to run through water halfway through.
Maybe they have sprinklers going on as well.
Yeah, I would rather, if you want to do that, I could put some sprinklers up, something like that.
You get to the finish line, it's an open faucet, an open fire hydrant.
I know when I've ran some of those, when you run 5Ks and stuff around town, like some of the people will be out in their yard with like a hose and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, you talk about invigorating when you're.
How many 5Ks have you running?
I only did like 3 or so,
Yeah,
3 or 4.
I've done one.
But man, with that thing, when they hit you with that hose, like it's you just want to stop. Like, okay, forget the rest of the race. Just blast me with that thing for a while.
Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. Broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Second hour of the program brought to you each and every day by the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Great birthday ideas, anniversary gifts. Of course, it's never too early to start thinking about Christmas gifts and stashing them away. But we still have plenty of time to go in the summer and then the fall. These are 2 great times of the year to get engaged, to have your weddings. And if you're looking for that special engagement ring, wedding rings, personally designed wedding sets, James Gaddis Jewelers is the place you need to check out. James is a master jeweler and a certified appraiser, so if you need anything appraised, just bring it on over to James. He's a diamondologist. He's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. He goes all over the world to find these beautiful diamonds for you. They're a full-service jewelry store with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. They have an unbelievable variety when it comes to watches and earrings, and pendants, and bracelets, whatever the case may be. Plus gemstones of all types. I know a lot of people like to get their birthstone for their month. They certainly have a lot of variety for you at James Gaddis Jewelers. Plus they have one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. So they're always adding to their collection. I guarantee if you go there 2-3 times in 1 week, you'll see different jewelry each time you go there. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. They have the experts to help you pick out those amazing engagement rings. And as I mentioned, 2 repair experts to help you with all your fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing, always available at James Gaddis Jewelers. All right, so SEC football right around the corner. The news for Texas, not good, as we mentioned in hour number 1 with the loss of C.J. Baxter, but that's a loaded team. And Texas and Georgia, Georgia and Texas, whatever the order is, I think most of the prognosticators believe it's a 2-team race to win it all in that conference. However, there is probably another 6 or 7 teams that are right there that certainly can be in the mix at the end and are absolutely in the mix for the playoff. Now, whether they get 4, could they get 5? It's a possibility. Could they be as low as 3? I guess there's a possibility as well. But with the SEC, we always like to see the quarterbacks. And especially here in the last, 10 years, 15 years, it seems like they have gotten better and better as far as that position is concerned. They've always had good ones over the years, but not all teams have had those top-line, top-tier quarterbacks, and now they do. And all you have to do is look around the NFL, how many quarterbacks now come from the SEC. You have, this year, a number of talented quarterbacks who could certainly be in the mix to be first-round picks or second-round picks in next spring's NFL draft. So, Eli, I'm going to give you our buddy CJ, Connor O'Gara, at CJ O'Gara on Twitter, his rankings. I'm not going to go through all 16, but I'm going to take the top 10 quarterbacks for the upcoming season, and you spin it the way you want to spin it into your own rankings. But this is what Connor has. Carson Beck, number 1 from Georgia. Quinn Ewers, number 2 from Texas. Jalen Milroe, number 3 from Alabama. Then Jackson Dart, 4 from Ole Miss. Brady Cook, 5 from Missouri. I didn't get that. I got it. Connor Wegman, number 6 from Texas A&M. Nico Iamaleava from Tennessee. Nailed it. Number 8, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. Number 8, as I mentioned. Graham Mertz from Wisconsin at number 9, or was Wisconsin, now Florida, of course, in his second year. And then Jackson Arnold, who is the projected starting quarterback for Brent Venables at Oklahoma. What do you think about that order? What would you change up? And what do you think about the quarterback contingent this year in the SEC?
I think the top 5 guys are really good. I think there's a pretty Nico could be the sixth guy. We'll see. I mean, certainly there's a lot of ability there, and he looked good in the bowl game last year, but that's one game, and we have to see. But so I think he could stretch that to 6, but then I think there's a drop off. I would put Ewers number 1. I think Ewers has proven more to this point. I think Carson Beck is fantastic, and there's a good chance Carson Beck goes number 1 overall in the NFL draft. But right now, going into the season, if I'm ranking him, I would put Quinn Ewers ahead of Carson Beck based on what he's done in his career so far. Certainly Milroe, Dart, and Cook, I think, are the other 3 in the top 5. And you could, and with what Milroe did last year, I think probably got to put him number 3. And then Dart and Cook, I think you could go either one. Now, Dart, if you're projecting the season they're going to have, I think Dart could be higher because they're just so loaded at the receiver position. Mm-hmm. And in that offense, Dart could put up some staggering numbers but when it's all said and done for this season. Again, I just think after those 5 and possibly Nico, then there's a drop-off. A lot of these, I'm not a big Garrett Nussmeier guy. I think he's fine, but I don't think he's even close to those other guys. I don't know much about Jackson Arnold. Again, hasn't done much. He's started 1 game at Oklahoma, so we'll see. Graham Mertz, I've certainly not the guys who have actually been out there and we've seen them play. I'm not that excited about. Connor Wegman, I'm not that excited about Connor Wegman. So I just think there's a pretty significant gap between those top 5. Then I put kind of Nico in his own little category, and then the other guys.
Now, I didn't mention all the teams, but you have some interesting quarterbacks elsewhere in the league. Brock Vandegrift with Kentucky was originally with Georgia, so he was certainly good enough to be recruited by Georgia. You think that he has potential. Peyton Thorne with Auburn, although I think when Auburn takes off, it's going to be their next quarterback, whoever Hugh brings in with the recruiting class that he's putting together. I think Auburn's future is really, really bright. I'm just not sure about Peyton Thorne this year. Mississippi State's got the transfer Blake Shapen, who, when healthy, is not a bad quarterback. I just don't know if they have enough weapons around him at Mississippi State. Let me give you some of the numbers from last year.
Shapen's going to put up good numbers because of Jeff Lebby's offense.
Right.
He's in.
They don't have a ton of weapons, though.
But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think Taylon Green's got a lot of potential.
Arkansas?
But again, he's in a rough. There's not a whole lot there, and playing an SEC schedule is a whole different than a Mountain West schedule. And when you're on one of the worst SEC teams, it could be a rude awakening for Taylon Green.
I'm telling you, the numbers last year from the quarterbacks in the SEC, I'm looking at the statistics, and it's eye-popping. Of course, Jaden Daniels, the stud, 2nd pick overall in the draft, now with the Washington Commanders. But the guys coming back, okay, I'm going to give you some of these numbers. First of all, how they protect the football as far as not throwing picks, not turning the ball over. Let me just give you the interception totals. And these are guys that have thrown. For example, Carson Beck threw 417 passes compared to Jalen Milroe, who threw 284. But still, 284 is a lot of passes. Each had 6 picks. Jackson Dart threw 358 passes. He threw 5 interceptions. That's it. Brady Cook, 367 passing attempts, 5 picks. Graham Mertz, 358 attempts, 3 interceptions. That's it. Completion percentage. Milroe completed 65.9. Beck completed 72.4% of his passes. 65.1 for Dart, 66.5 for Cook. Mertz completed 72.9% of his passes. Now, I got to be honest with you, I didn't watch a lot of Florida. I don't know if a lot of it was check downs, swing passes to the running backs, and things of that nature. Your percentage is going to go up. I can tell you this. I saw a lot of Jackson Dart, saw a lot of Brady Cook. They threw down the field. Saw Cook firsthand. That guy has an arm, and he's got weapons, and Luther Burden's back, and this guy's throwing it down the field at a tune of 66.5%. I'm not sure where he's penciled in as far as the draft next year, but I really like Brady Cook a lot. But Milroe's big and strong and physical, so you're going to get the running yards from him. Beck and Dart are fearless quarterbacks. So it's going to be interesting because after that, after Milroe, Beck, Dart, Cook, and Mertz, who are all back, last year, numbers-wise, Rattler was next, and he's going to make an NFL team. Then Milton's going to make an NFL team. Then K.J. Jefferson, who transferred to, remind me, Jefferson's where now?
K.J. Jefferson. Where is K.J. Jefferson?
Zach, can you find out? So soon we forget about K.J. Jefferson, who was the next big thing. Then it's Nussmeier, and then after that, it's a bunch of quarterbacks that either got beaten. UCF, thank you. Other quarterbacks who have either moved on, they've used up their eligibility, or they were beaten out for jobs. And then you go all the way down to Peyton Thorne, who threw 16 touchdowns and 10 picks with 266 attempts. So, yeah, those guys are the cream of the crop, but you don't see Nico in there because, Nico didn't play much and then played really, really well in the bowl game for what it's worth. But high expectations, especially with that high octane offense that Heupel runs. UCF, thank you.
Again, anymore, especially in college football, you should be completing as much short passing as there is.
Right.
65% is
65?
If you're below 60, certainly if you're below 60,
yes.
Because there's so many passes.
You're on the bench.
There are so many passes where literally you just take a snap, turn, and throw it to the guy on the outside and let him try and make plays. There's a million wide receiver screens, bubble screens,
jet sweeps,
stuff like you got the pop pass now is a pass, everything. The completion percentage numbers are completely inflated anymore.
Well, I agree with you. I think if you are completing under 60%, you're not starting. You're on the bench. I wonder, the next time we have Ryan Silverfield on or any other head coach or coach for that matter, I want to ask that question to them. What a quarterback, a good quarterback, what type of percentage should he be completing passes at? Let me see what Ryan,
and the other thing,
what
a lot of
Seth
these
Hannigan did last year.
Offenses, just the way it is, they're so good and well designed, and especially on these good teams, if you're Carson Beck at Georgia or Jackson Dart going to be this year, you're going to have a lot of open targets. Guys are, because these offenses are really good at getting guys open, and you just got better weapons than what most of the defenses you face have to try and guard them. So you just get easy throws constantly throughout the game that you should hit every single time.
Seth Hennigan last year was 66.8%. 318 out of 476 for just under 3,900 yards, 32 touchdowns. He threw 9 picks, as QBR was 153.7. So really good numbers. A little bit high on the picks. He had a couple of errant passes that we would talk to him after the game, and he would talk about that, letting one get away. But he's a guy who throws down the field. They weren't bombing it as much as maybe we projected going into the season, but certainly took their shots. This year, I think you're going to see more downfield passing from Hennigan. And he's talked to us about that it's kind of the make it or break it year for him. Obviously, it's his final year, but I think he's talking about both for the team with the expectations, but for him, who is certainly appreciated, I think, but for NFL scouts, he's going to have to do even more for them to really put him on their radar. He feels very confident he can do that.
He wants to throw for 4,000 yards, he said.
Well, he was almost 4,000 last year. Mm-hmm. And he's got Rock Taylor back. He's got Blankenship back. He's got some other really talented receivers, running backs that can catch the ball to the backfield, Lamphere and some others at tight end. Got a lot of weapons there. All right, when we come back, we're going to shift gears, talk some Major League Baseball as we do every Thursday with Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777. When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns, to turnovers, and overturned plays.
After review, pass is incomplete.
Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV, and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and quotas apply.
They're taking care of business in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called God Hopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A couple of accidents still getting some attention out here. It's starting a little bit busier over here on 240 east and westbound. Up by Walnut Grove, Poplar. Traffic's starting to crank up over here now. A little bit more volume finally on 40 westbound as you work your way past Sycamore View Road up onto that 240 flyover. Some of that traffic is getting off there onto Sam Cooper. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64, your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56 mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:26 is the time. Yeah, some of the kids busted out of class earlier this week with no air conditioning, but at least the weather's nice today, so it won't be as bad in school for those who are in school, and most, I think, in the Shelby County area are. Collierville, I think they got back to school today, or at least getting ready to head to school. If you're a parent listening to the show, driving your kids to school, be careful out there. But again, weather-wise, it's nice, and hopefully this will continue next week as we'll have the FedEx St. Jude Championship next week, the first leg of the 3-event FedEx Cup playoff. 70 of the best golfers in the world assembled here in Memphis. We'll get down to 50 a week from Sunday. But right now, we want to talk some Major League Baseball. We do so each and every week with Kerry Miller. He is Kerry Miller. He joins us every Thursday to talk Major League Baseball. You can follow him on Twitter at Carrance James. What's going on, Kerry?
Greg, before we get into baseball, did you just say kids are already back in school in your area?
Yes, yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
This week.
It's crazy. Look, I moved here in 1995, grew up in New Jersey. We go to school after Labor Day in the Northeast. They're back in school Monday, Kerry. They were back in school. That's insane.
Like, my daughter starts 2 Mondays from now, and that feels insanely early to me.
It is bizarre how early they start.
So they start school, and then unfortunately there was a bunch of schools whose air conditioners were not working properly. So they did a poor job during the summer when the kids weren't in school to fix the air conditioning. So they had to leave the school. You know, they kicked them out of the school and said, go home. It's too hot. Now, we've had a reprieve in the weather the last couple of days, which is rare for Memphis. But not only do you start early, that means high school football starts early. Those guys are out there in pads and 95 degrees and high humidity. I never understood why school has to start that early here in this area, but it does. It's a lot different than where you are and where I grew up. All right, let me ask you this right off the bat. Who is, in your opinion, sitting here on April 8th, the American League and the National League Manager of the Year?
Oh, man.
Who has done the best job to this point, you think?
Cleveland, I can't even remember who the manager is. I want to say Terry Francona.
No, it's not. It's Vogt, isn't it?
Yes,
Stephen Vogt. Stephen Vogt's done a great job.
My memory's just starting to go, man. I can't even remember who got traded where. Like, I was looking at box scores I was looking at the Rays-Cardinals box score last night. I'm like, oh, it's weird that Isak Paredes got the day off. I'm like, oh, wait, he's on the Cubs now. It's just, oh, God. I still think Maryland's in the ACC. Syracuse in the Big East.
You're too young for memory loss. Come on, my friend.
Stephen Vogt, for sure, is going to be AL Manager of the Year. I mean, nobody thought that the Guardians were going to be anywhere near this good. I don't think people were even picking them to win the AL Central, let alone possibly the number 1 seed. So
right.
For them to be there is pretty crazy. And probably Rob Thompson in the National League. I think that even though the Phillies have been really slumping over the last 3 to 4 weeks, they're probably still going to be the 1 seed. Again, everybody thought it was going to be the Braves' world in the NL East, and the Phillies have kind of turned that on its head.
If the Brewers win the Central, what about Pat Murphy?
Yeah, especially after the turmoil of Council leaving and nobody really giving them much thought. I guess they're similar to the Guardians in that they're doing way better than expected. That was an oversight by me. I think it would go to Murphy, especially for being a first-year manager.
Yeah, look, I think it could be Murphy, but I'm with you on your first. I think it'll be Thompson if they end up winning that division and win that division by 7-8 games. Right now they're up 7.5. I know they've slumped here the last couple of weeks, but they won I think the last 2 over the Dodgers. They beat the Dodgers last night. A little controversial situation with Dave Roberts.
Call.
Yeah, being taught. Roberts got tossed, and it was a bad deal for the Dodgers, but that doesn't mean they should be throwing pitches right over the heart of the plate to Kyle Schwarber with 3 home runs last night for the Phillies. So maybe the Phillies got it going after a little bit of a slump. But, yeah, I think Thompson certainly can be.
Yeah, it was good to see somebody homer last night for them, as disappointed as they've been. But Schwarber's been one of the only ones, like, not slumping over the past month. Like, you got to get Harper going, got to get Turner going. But maybe that'll spark something for the rest of the team, just having that 3-homer game.
I just don't understand the way certain pitchers, managers in their philosophies attack certain players like Schwarber, like Aaron Judge. I don't get why you're throwing them anything that they can turn on. Now, maybe it's a mistake. The pitcher makes a mistake and throws it over the heart of the plate or inside to Schwarber, the left-handed hitter, and he hits it 500 feet. But I would just now I know Schwarber strikes out a lot, but I would be less aggressive trying to attack those kind of hitters that can put a run on the board just like that. Well, why attack? Why throw to Aaron Judge when you don't have to?
Yeah, at least with Schwarber, there's guys behind him, right? the Judge thing, I can't fathom. Teams are finally starting to intentionally walk in. The Blue Jays gave him 3 free passes a couple of days ago.
That's
and
right.
The Blue Jays are playing for nothing, so why aren't other teams following suit and trying to pitch to the other Yankees? But yeah, both of those guys, right? They mash. They both strike out a lot. They both walk a lot. They're the kings of the 3 true outcomes. And every 8% of those at bats or so, it's one of the 500-foot outcomes.
It's pretty incredible when you look, because now Judge, he's not going to win the Triple Crown because Bobby Witt Jr. is too good of a hitter. I mean, he's 23 points ahead of him in average. Mm-hmm. But still, it's amazing. And then Shohei Ohtani has a legitimate chance at winning a Triple Crown. So taking a year off from pitching could win the Triple Crown in batting.
That's we should all be so lucky. People do that. Yeah, he's been incredible. And I mean, Ozuna, I think he's fallen off that pace for sure. But a week or two ago, he was very much in the mix for a Triple Crown as well in the National League. It's kind of weird that we went 56 years between Yastrzemski and Miguel Cabrera. It's been 12 years since Miggy did it, I think, and now all of a sudden, we got 3 or 4 people that messing around might get a Triple Crown. But yeah, for what Ohtani has done, and I saw a report, I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday or a month ago, who knows? It's a weird time of the year where time stands still and all blends together. But he's rehabbing and looking good. They're saying he might be a better pitcher than he was before. I mean, what the heck?
And the thing, too, Ohtani is tied for the lead in batting average in the National League. That's only 302. Judge is hitting 324. He's just in the wrong league, again, because of Bobby Witt Jr. But, it's what these guys are doing. And, again, Ohtani, if he comes back and is a better pitcher, my goodness gracious, he could win what if he win the pitching Triple Crown and the batting Triple Crown in the same year? Yeah, I mean, he was around this time last year. I guess this was around when he got hurt last year, but maybe it was 2 months ago. There was a chance. He was in the running all 6 categories last year. So it's insane to think about, but with Ohtani, it's not impossible. Like you said, if he is a better pitcher than he was, I mean, that would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, I was just looking at a story. I glanced over. It said that Ohtani on the comeback trail as far as a pitcher, possibly better than he was before. So you got that to look forward to, batters. When you face Shohei Ohtani when he gets back on the hill, presumably next year. We're joined, as we are every Thursday, by Kerry Miller on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. Of course, you can read all his great stories at Bleacher Report. Follow him on Twitter at Carrance James. Eli brought up Bobby Witt Jr. with his batting average, also his power. 2 more home runs yesterday. Royals, a 1.5 lead over the Red Sox for that final wild card spot in the American League. I don't know how they do it. They continue to do it, but Kansas City, I don't know what their payroll is. It can't be that much, but man, they are hanging tough.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they didn't do a ton at the deadline, because they had already, risen their payroll by like $35 million over what it was the previous year, and it was just going to be tough for them to go above and beyond that. But it is wild that it is kind of Bobby Witt Jr. or bust in that lineup at times. I mean, Sal Perez was awesome early in the year. I think he's been kind of an average hitter since then. Mm-hmm. Vinny Pasquantino's had his moments, but their lineup is just littered with 700 OPSs, aside from Bobby Witt, who's at a beautiful 1,000 OPS right now.
He should be on a normal year. You're right, dude. He's winning the MVP award, and he has no chance to win the MVP award because of Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I think it's getting to be more of a debate now. It's funny that a month ago is it going to be Witt or Henderson for the AL shortstop in the All-Star game? Now he's sneaking up there. I mean, I think he's ahead of Judge in wins above replacement, because obviously he's more valuable on defense than I think Judge is. But the home run, if Judge does end up getting to 60 home runs, it's going to be just like it was 2 years ago, where Ohtani couldn't do enough to steal the MVP away from him, especially given the differences in records that the Angels and Yankees had. Now, if the Royals do sneak into the playoffs, 1 year after losing 106 games, I think that definitely helps Bobby Witt's case for MVP, even though it is we saw A-Rod win an MVP for the last place Rangers forever ago. People don't really care as much about records for the MVP, but I think that could be a case where it does make a significant difference.
Yeah, it would seem like they would need to get in, and the Yankees not win the East. Now the Yankees are going to be in anyway, but not win the East. And yeah, listen, I hope it have. I have a bet on Bobby Witt Jr. to win the MVP, but I need Judge to miss like 2 weeks. Like Judge needs to go out for 2 weeks because otherwise I think those home run totals and RBI totals are just going to be so high that it's like, what do you do?
We are probably about due for Aaron Judge to miss a couple weeks, right?
Hey, I am not against that. How did you celebrate the White Sox ending the losing streak? Was it a big celebration?
I was watching the play-by-play log while falling asleep.
But right back on the losing saddle last night. They're back to their losing ways.
They're back, baby.
Yeah, it was. I had to. My wife got a new job. We've switched rooms around. I had to re-log into the MLB TV in a different room. I wanted to make sure to watch the first few innings of, for God help me, a White Sox A's game earlier this week. That's where we're at.
Isn't that really what baseball's all about? Is a game between the White Sox and the A's in August for the White Sox to try and avoid the longest losing streak in history. That's really what baseball in August is all about.
The night they broke the streak the other day, they announced 4,000. What did I say it was, 4,200? I wonder how many legitimately were in there.
Yeah, that seems a bit high. That is
just to view history. Just
single
watch history.
A attendance. That's about what you expect for, if somebody's on a rehab assignment at a single or double A game, that's what you would get.
We had a texter that asked about September call-ups and how they affect service time. Said Christian Moore has absolutely been killing it in the Angels organization since getting drafted in June. Is there any chance he sniffs some at-bats in September with the Angels?
Yeah, they keep changing the rules about what establishes rookie status, and they added that, now you get a draft pick if you call a guy up and he wins Rookie of the Year. Obviously, that's not going to happen for a September call-up, but yeah. I don't think it goes against the clock to have a September call-up. There's at least for rookie status, it's something like 150 at-bats, 50 innings pitched or something like that, and nobody's going to exceed that in 1 month of play.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's kosher. You're allowed to call a guy up and then still, not exceed his service clock time.
And then how many can you call up?
Is there a limit? As many as you want, right? You got to fill that 40-man roster. So usually teams have maybe 2 or 3, highly touted prospects that they'll call up, and it's mostly just kind of filling out the roster with the lifetime AAA guys. But yeah, you could do it however you want, I think.
Yeah, I would imagine with the Cardinals here in Memphis with the Redbirds, the AAA team, that Walker will be called up in September. Scott's up there right now because of the injury to Ciani. And then I would think Eli Luken Baker's got to get called. He's got 30 home runs. Again, I don't know what his service time is and how that all works, but if there's no issues with service time, I would imagine Luken Baker will get called up to the Cardinals as well. I was asked this question the other day. It's a simple question, but I had to really think about it, so I'll ask you. Right now, in order, who are the 4 best teams in baseball?
Oh, my God, yeah. That's where I thought we were going to start. I have no idea.
I had to think about it. I really had to think about it. Mm-hmm.
It might be the Yankees now. I guess after the Phillies took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, you got to technically have the Phillies right ahead of the Dodgers. The Orioles are still... But it feels like everybody's slumping. Right now, if you don't look at the standings so much, it's probably the Padres are the best team in baseball over the past month or so.
Really?
The Padres and Diamondbacks are making a real run at the Dodgers. All of a sudden, the NL West race has gotten very interesting.
The NL West, you're right, because I've been following Arizona. They're within 3 of the Dodgers and the Padres. I didn't even realize it. Same record, 63 and 52. I mean, again, I wouldn't put them overall, but you're saying right now, maybe the hottest team, certainly. I didn't even realize they're within 3 games of the Dodgers. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But, yeah, I would certainly think the Yankees, a healthy Yankees team. But then they're tied with Baltimore, so where do you put Baltimore? Cleveland has been so good. I told this guy, I said, I think Cleveland's got to be one of the 4. And then, of course, the Phillies, I know they were slumping, but took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. And you can't count out the Dodgers with all their talent, but man, the whole the Freddie Freeman thing with his son, and just they're trying to rally around that. And here comes Houston, now in the lead in the West by a half a game over Seattle. So that'll be a battle to the end, but I never count out Houston. All right, got a final thing for you. They announced a couple days ago, maybe yesterday, about the baseball game coming to Bristol Motor Speedway. The Reds and the Braves will play in 2025. So next year, they will have a Major League Baseball regular season game. They've had football games at Bristol Motor Speedway, Tennessee, and Virginia Tech in the past. So my question for you is, and we've had the uniqueness of baseball, always looking outside the box. We were talking about this on the show yesterday. What stadium or venue or someplace that you think would be fantastic, either in this country or outside this country, that would be great for a Major League Baseball regular season game?
Yeah, so I wrote about this when they did the Rickwood game like 2 months ago. And I said one of the ideas I had was Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but that's just so massive that it would have been dwarfed. I'm surprised they're trying to pull it off at Bristol, but I'm sure they'll find a way. The other one, when I was thinking Indianapolis, I settled on Churchill Downs would be a fun one. Same idea, where it's like, kind of dwarfed in that massive infield, but if you can make it work, could be awesome. And then I also had one of the ideas in there, because they were already supposed to go to Paris next year, and I guess that's been nixed for funding reasons or whatever, but I said after you watch the Olympics and you see beach volleyball in front of the Eiffel Tower, there's going to be a desire to have a baseball game there within the next 3 years for sure.
Was it like the Green Monster?
Basically.
The Eiffel Tower in left field. There you go. It's the Green Monster. But I love I don't know how big the infield is at Churchill Downs. I would imagine it's humongous. And if you could put a little stadium in there that meets the dimensions, I think that would be fantastic. The problem with Indy Motor Speedway, which is gigantic, enormous, I was there for the Brickyard 400, is they have golf holes in the middle. There's 4 golf holes, so I don't think they're going to ruin the golf course to try to put something there, and I don't think there would be enough room considering there's golf holes there. But that would be something really, really unique. And you know what? The way baseball's going, they're going to think of these type of things. I like that they're doing that. They're old school baseball a lot of times, lives on their laurels and their past because they're so historic. But also now I got to give a lot of credit to Manfred and company thinking outside the box, moving forward with the game of baseball, just trying to make it more exciting for people out there that have kind of soured on the game. Yeah, I saw when, at least when there still were only 14 teams in the Big Ten. I guess now it's 18. I got to start remembering that for when college basketball rolls around. But I was looking up, there was a graphic that you could fit all 14 Big Ten football stadiums within the confines of the Indy 500 infield. Like, that's how big it is. What? Really?
I don't know.
Oh, that can't be true, can it?
I have no idea.
You got the big house?
I'm not a NASCAR guy.
Oh, my gosh. I know it's humongous, that place, but wow, that's crazy. He's Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report. You can follow him on Twitter at Carrens James and catch him every Thursday talking with us. We'll do it again next Thursday, Kerry. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
All right, sounds good. Take care, guys.
All right, you too.
I was looking up the rule, and I think on the service time, I'm not sure exactly how it works. What that means for the September call-up, but I knew they had changed it. The rosters, Major League Baseball rosters now in September expand from 26 to 28. So you have to add 2 guys to your roster.
Okay.
You can only have 14 pitchers. You can't carry more than 14 pitchers, but you do have to add 2 guys to your roster. But then there's also, you can take basically a 5-person taxi squad with you. So you could alternate, like you could rotate guys as those other 2 spots.
Okay.
So you could still call up theoretically 7 guys and have 5 that are on your taxi squad and 2 that are active for every game, and I theoretically rotate and change throughout those. I don't know on the service time. Again, you're still gonna be a rookie the next year, but I don't know what that month of service time does. Mm-hmm. The whole service time thing in Major League Baseball is way over my head to begin with. I don't understand it at all. So I have no idea if the Angels would be willing to call up Christian Moore or not for this September, because I don't know how that would affect his service time going forward and when he gets into arbitration and theoretically into free agency, and how it affects their control of him and how many years they have him.
Yeah, it's very complicated. A guy like Tim Elko, he's now in AAA, is he not? The former Ole Miss Rebel captain. So I wonder if he'll get his opportunity. But here in this area, Luken Baker, again, unless there's something I'm missing, doesn't make any sense that he's not called up with 30 home runs.
Yeah, he'll get,
and Jordan Walker, of course.
Moving can be stressful, but when you get the professionals from Black Tie Moving to do that move for you, to help you with that move, well, that makes it a lot easier on you and a lot less stressful on you. All you got to do is call the folks at Black Tie at 901-316-6196, or you could go to the website at blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to the folks at Black Tie about, and they'll work with you to come up with that plan for your move, what you need. That's important. Want to make sure that you may want them to do everything, including the packing and unpacking. Well, that's fine. They'll do it. But maybe you're going to do all the packing, unpacking. You just really need them to pick up your stuff, take it, drop it off. That's fine, too. Maybe you need some storage space in an interim. They can do that for you as well. Whatever it is you need, that's the thing. They're going to work with you to come up with that plan, fitting your needs and also fitting your budget. And you do get a no-obligation quote up front. Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
Final segment, hour 2 on the way. Don't forget, hour 3, we open up talking with Grizzlies assistant coach Jason March. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many. Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
All right, so as I do more looking into this, for service time in Major League Baseball, a year of service time, you only accrue a year of service time if you are on a Major League roster for 172 days of the season. And you can't combine. So a September call-up should have no effect on service time because you're obviously not going to be, and you can't, that doesn't combine with the next year or anything like that. It's all based on each season separately. That's why, like at the beginning of years, like the Cubs did it with Chris Bryant. You've seen others like they'll send him down for like the first 2 weeks of the season, because then once you get past that point, because the season is 187 days, so basically you just after 16 days of the season, you can bring a person up and they will not get a full year. Now that is not going to count as a year of service time.
That makes sense. I mean,
so the September call-ups,
right,
as far as service time go, would have no effect on that.
So during the break, I was with Zach, and we were watching the live stream of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium and the renovations that are taking place. I think most people have seen it by now. There's the 2 hunks that are gone. But now there's the middle part, which leads up to the press box. And they've taken out 2 of the bottom. It's almost like, what's the game called when you pull out the little pieces and you hope it doesn't collapse? Jenga? Jenga. It looks like Jenga. They got 2 little bottom parts out now. And I imagine, Zach, they're going to go north, because if they go to the other 2 at the bottom, the whole structure is going to fall apart, I think. And I just don't know how they do it the way they are doing this. That's why these guys are paid the way they are paid. This company is very, very good at what they do because they know how to do this stuff. But it just seems like it would all crumble. But, man, it's pretty fascinating if you haven't seen it. I think you can go to the Tiger website, gotigersgo.com, and you can see the live stream of them working on the west side. Now, phase 1 is the east side, where the coaches will be this year, the press box will be, and we'll be moving forward too. And so they're doing renovations there, but I don't see anything there yet. I guess it's all happening on the inside where you can't tell because they're not knocking down anything on the outside.
Yeah, it's all doing is redoing the inside of
I just hope it'll be really, really nice. It's tough to tell that anything's going on, but certainly it is. But the other side is fascinating, the way they are working on it. Really, really cool.
It's going to be so bizarre for the games if you're sitting over on that east side to just look over and you're going to be looking into Tiger Lane. And you'll see the Coliseum and car. It's just going to look so weird at first to just sit down in your seat, look up and go, I can see my car. There's where we parked up there in Tiger Lane. It's just going to look, I don't know. I can't, I'm not prepared for what it's going to look like that first time in there looking across and just seeing the parking lot.
Quarterback throws it away. He throws it outside. He goes into the parking lot.
See people
go run down the football.
Just a pile of rubble or whatever and cars.
You talk about a cheap ticket. I mean, all you got to do is just sit in your car.
Yeah, well, there's going to be
get a little ladder, maybe.
You have to get up on top if you have to have a little something there to just boost you up a little bit. Yeah, you'll be able to see the game.
Just don't go on top of the Mid-South Coliseum and look in because it may crush. Under your weight. It may just fall apart.
If that'll get it to fall down, then do it.
So I saw this photo yesterday and video of, I think a lot of people probably have seen it now, Marcus Jordan, the son of NBA Hall of Famer Michael Jordan. And Marcus was the Jordan kid who played at UCF, correct? Basketball player at UCF. Didn't he wear the big glasses? And so he's seen in the south of France on a boat, on a yacht, with his current girlfriend, Ashley Stevenson, snorting a white powder during a poolside lunch. Very visible.
Is Marcus the one that was with Larsa?
That's what I was going to get to.
Yes.
Okay, I was
going to get to that. So anyway,
we don't ever hear from Jeffrey. Jeffrey's like, it's always Marcus.
So this lady is hamming it up for the camera. I don't know who she is, but maybe she's famous, Ashley Stevenson, maybe a model of some sort. I don't know what Marcus does. Does he have a good job, or does Daddy give him lots of money? Because this guy is living the high life, but it looks like, again, I don't know if it's cocaine, but he's snorting something. And so that became viral yesterday. But I was thinking the same thing. His old girlfriend, his old flame, Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. If he had continued the relationship with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife and they had gotten married, Marcus Jordan, in essence, would have been Scottie Pippen Jr.'s stepfather. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's some wild, wild stuff right there. That's some wild, wacky stuff.
You're going to see a lot of TMZ down in the M-Town, man.
My gosh. Oh, this is, unless it was on last night, I don't know when this story came out. It says 15 hours ago. So TMZ might have already been taped for their day. But this is going to be all over TMZ tonight. Plug for TMZ, 6:30, Fox 13. That's where I get my celebrity news from TMZ. So, anyway.
What a world we live in that we still care what Marcus Jordan's doing.
Only because it's Michael's son. And then people were going to comments and they're saying, well, the reaction would have been much different if it was Bronny. Everybody would have been on the Bronze case and all that. And people were like, dude, Marcus Jordan's a grown man. He's 33 years old. Bronny is 19 years old. He's still basically under the roof of dad. It's a whole different story.
Marcus also is an NBA player.
Right. But again, what they're saying is the dude's 33. He can make decisions for himself, good or bad. Bronny, yes, he's a young man, but he's not yet, you know what I'm saying? He's still kind of a kid. And it would be a much bigger story, plus the fact that you're right, he's an NBA player, and an NBA player who many believe didn't earn that position, yet is going to be, Bronny James will probably have, what do you think in the end this year when they total up all the jersey sales after next season? I think Bronny James will have a top 25 jersey. What do you think?
I have no idea.
Zach, what do you think? You're a jersey guy, right?
Sure there's enough dumb people to buy it.
They will. I think he'll be
Maybe
a
in
top
the top
25. Top 25. That's absolutely nuts. I wonder if a lot of people will buy Zach Edey jerseys. And if they come in actual size, you can use that as a house, if you like. You can live in the darn thing. We need to take a break. When we come back, speaking of the Grizzlies, Jason March, Grizzlies assistant coach. He coached the Summer League team in both Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. We'll talk to Jason about that when we return, the prospects for the 2024-25 season. That's coming up in Hour 3. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right, over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Corky's Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jay Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home. With Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
Corky's Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jay Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home. With Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic's a little bit crowded here in the Midtown area. Nothing like it was earlier. We had some problems, but just a normal buildup right now on 240 as you work your way northbound from Norris all the way up to Union. There's still some volume trying to get across the Hernando de Soto Bridge on 40 coming eastbound as that traffic not only increases over in the West Memphis area, but also I-40 over here to 101 connector. Weimer's Jewelry here in Memphis specializes in bridal ring purchases. They have since 1984. Shop local, save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh,
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:03 the time. Hour number 3 here on this Thursday, August 8th, 2024. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 74 degrees. We'll get up to 88 today. Cloudy skies will become partly cloudy this afternoon. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 72 degrees. Third hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings, Jenkins Floors and More. If you are looking for flooring, you are looking for carpeting, this is the place for you because they sell at wholesale. They're going to save you lots of money. Plus, it's quality that they provide, whether it be the material or the work that they do. They have the new showroom open up at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from anywhere in the Memphis area. They also have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock. They have all top-of-the-line material, ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, on and on and on. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started this business about 8 years ago. Family-owned and operated, just really good people. They will install and do so with an unheard of 2-week turnaround. They'll come to you. They'll give you a free estimate, show you all the different samples for residential and commercial. So homeowners, contractors, if you do it yourself, well, then go ahead and get all your materials from Jenkins Floors and More and save money while you're doing it. But again, if you want to go with Jenkins to put in and get the job done, they'll do it within 2 weeks. Give them a call at 662-469-9350. They're open Monday through Saturday, or stop by any of their 3 locations, including 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Well, it was a fun run for the Grizzlies Summer League team. I got to head out to Vegas and watch them play a game. Very good job by the team. Very good job by the coaching staff, including our good friend, Memphis Grizzlies assistant coach Jason March, the former head coach of the Memphis Hustle, who coached the Summer League team in both Salt Lake City and in Las Vegas. You can follow Jason on Twitter at Jason L. March. Coach Jason March joining us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Jason.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good. Very good.
Doing fantastic. So you go from coaching up the team in Summer League, you come back to Memphis, you do your camp and your clinic. No time for the weary. I hope you were able, after the camp, Jason, to get some R&R with you and the family and kind of get your juices flowing again before the mad rush coming up in a couple of months. Did you get some time to vacation a little bit?
No vacation, no rest yet, but that's okay. It's been a very busy off season thus far, but we'll get a little bit of time, hopefully at the end of the month. I know the kids are very excited about that because they'll miss a little school, but it's important. Definitely important to spend some time, family time, and enjoy a little bit of rest for sure.
When you're because of the fact you go to Salt Lake City and then straight to Vegas, and then you guys go all the way to the championship game. Like, does it feel like you were gone out there for like months, or does it go by quickly? What's that feel like when you're out there on that doing that summer league as long as you were out there?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like forever, to be honest. I mean, I even kind of look back. I mean, we started our training camp for summer league on July 4th, and it was really from that day on. I mean, we were somewhat, just nonstop, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. It was we had a great group of not only players but the staff. Coach Jenkins and the Grizzlies front office gave me to work with. We had a lot of fun throughout that process, putting in the work and learning some new things with these guys. It was a great experience. But to answer your question, it was a very, very long time to be away for sure.
Jason, what is the strategy really from a team concept of participating in both leagues? I know now they have the California League where a few also participate before all the teams go to Vegas, but only so many participate in two. Why do the Grizzlies go to both Salt Lake and then obviously go to Vegas?
I think it's just more reps. I was actually in Sacramento with the Kings organization when we started that California Classic, and that was the goal for that is just getting more reps. Since I've been back in Memphis now, it's just something that we've always done as an organization. You get 3 more games, you get more time on the court with your draft picks, your young players. I think at the end of the day, it's all extremely positive for not only the players, but the coaches as we're learning and building relationships with the players, but definitely for the organization to just get more views, more eyes on our young players, and to see what we have and what they can grow into at some point. So I think it's extremely positive to be able to get in that situation where you're getting those extra games with the pre-summer league, no matter where it's at, if it's in the California one or the Salt Lake.
Folks were excited to get an opportunity, obviously, to see Zach Edey. Now they wish they could have gotten more opportunity to see him, but the injuries kind of limited that. But you obviously got to see him in practice, everything else. What's your thought and feelings on Zach Edey and how he does fit into the NBA game?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hate to just speak on Zach because we had an opportunity to see all of these guys. So, all of our draft picks, Zach, Jalen, and Cam, we got a chance to see all of them, like I said, starting from July 4th and moving forward. You all in the media, the fans, they didn't get to see as much as we did as a group because of injuries to really all of our guys, unfortunately, throughout the course of that summer league. But like you said, it is a very long process, and those things do tend to happen. But going back to Zach, I think from day one we saw he's going to put in a lot of work. He's extremely determined, and whatever that is, if it's just to be a great player, if it's to prove a few people wrong that may have said some things, whatever it is, he knows he's going to fit. He knows he's going to be a good player in this league, and he's going to put in the work to achieve that. And that was the number one thing that I took away from our very first start is this young man's wanting to work and get acclimated to what we do as an organization. I think he's going to be a great fit for us and very excited to see him grow with our group in the future.
Talk about the other guys. Wells, Spencer, obviously Scottie Pippen will be a part of the team in at least South Haven for a while, and then, of course, his call-ups to the Grizzlies as a two-way player. But all these guys stood out, and G.G. Jackson, of course, was one of the hits of the Summer League.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was kind of unique because we got to see every one of these guys at some point. Each one of those guys had a big game, I felt like. Zach, with the tip back in Salt Lake on the free throw. Jalen had a huge game in Vegas. Cam, Gigi, Scotty, Jake LaRavia. I mean, all of these guys at some point had a game where you're like, okay, we've got something here. You see what they're able to do. And a lot of guys, as scouting department, they know these guys very well. So I thought it was very positive for our group throughout the course of the summer league to be able to see each one of these players at some point have a positive showing throughout the summer league.
For guys, I was impressed actually with Cam Spencer because I didn't know for sure. Obviously, know he's a great shooter, but what else does he bring? I thought Jake LaRavia impressed in the idea of not just knocking down shots, but being able to do other things off the dribble, get to the rim, those types of things. Like for guys who are kind of known, and Wells is another guy who kind of drafted when he's drafted. It's like they drafted a shooter, but for those guys that are shooters, like how do they? What do they need to do to show like that they can affect the game in other ways other than just knocking down threes?
They have to guard. I think that's always my answer for young players, because when you come into the league out of college, most NBA teams already have their go-to guys, if we're honest. Yeah. And so how are you going to make that impact? How are you going to get on the floor? How are you going to get those 3, 5, then turn into 7, 10, 15 minutes in a game where the head coach puts you out there and gives you that opportunity? And 90% of the time is you got to get out there and you got to guard a little bit. Show those the hustle plays, the winning plays, make an impact on that end of the floor. Now you brought up Jake. I think Jake specifically. I've been with him quite a bit in the G League, and I feel very aware of what he's able to do other than just make shots. So he's kind of shown those types of things throughout the course of his few years with us and in South Haven with the hustle, where he can put the ball on the floor, he can defend, pick up guys full court. And he did all of that, in my opinion, throughout the course of Summer League. I thought it was a very good showing for him. And then, like I said, the rest of the group, we did have some success winning games, but more of on an individual basis. I think all of these guys showed throughout the course of the month together some of the things that they're going to be able to bring to whatever group it is. If it's Hustle, Grizzlies, no matter what, whenever their number's called, they'll be able to contribute in some way, some fashion.
Grizzlies assistant coach Jason March joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. So, Jason, how does it work? Obviously, once the game tips in between the lines, you're calling the shots as the coach. But Taylor's out there, other staff members are out there, and there's some new members of that staff as well. You guys in practice, and do you kind of strategize what you want to do with particular players as far as minutes, starts, or does this all fall onto your shoulders?
I think you guys have probably heard me say over the years with being in the G League, I felt very fortunate. I have best management group and the best head coach that communicates everything with me at all times. I never have had to guess on what they want from me, like I know a lot of other coaches in the G League have to do. So everything, our communication is incredible within our organization. Coach Jenkins knows what he wants to see, and he is not hesitant to pass that along to me and the staff. So we always knew what the expectation was for us as a staff and what we needed to get from the players in every game. So there was always that communication path to where it always took out that there was never a guess.
Right.
That's all as a head coach stepping into that head coach position in Summer League and if the G League or whatever it may be. That's really what you want to know. You always want to do right by the head coach and the organization. And if you can check those boxes, for lack of a better way to say it, I think that's always very positive. So I never had to wonder what the organization wanted or Coach Jenkins. Our communication was always phenomenal.
On a side note, by the way, do you like coaching in shorts?
In Vegas?
Yeah.
I did. I definitely did, because it was when you're getting to those games and leaving and all that kind of stuff, not having those pants on were nice. It was so hot. So it was nice.
Hey, I played golf out there. I went to a game, but I played golf 2 rounds out there. It's 115 degrees, so it's absolutely crazy. Did you have a chance at all to to do something like that, play golf or do anything fun during the days off?
No, not really. I don't think we.
You're a workaholic, aren't you?
I don't really remember a day off. I know we gave the players some time off, but we have a lot going on, and there's a lot of goals that we want to get to. So
sure.
It's not about being a workaholic, any of that type of stuff. We want to make sure we're preparing and being ready as coaches and the full staff. To be honest, just so we're doing right by the players.
Fans love to hear that. I'll tell you that much.
G.G. Jackson, obviously we saw last year the ability that he has. He's still obviously extremely young. The development last year was kind of sped up more than what the original plan was, and he got the time with the Grizzlies. But what do you see for him? What is kind of his next step in his development is to try and be a important part of the rotation when other guys are healthy and he's out there with John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think he's got to, number one, learn a new role coming into this season. There's going to be some different guys on the court with him this year, and he's going to be asked to do different things. And that can change in every offseason, if we're honest, in this league. I mean, this is a business, and things change. So not just for Gigi, but every player, they have to be ready to adapt to whatever that new role is going to be throughout the course of the next season. So I think that'll be the number one thing for Gigi, and then it's everything. Nothing changes from what we worked on in his time with the Hustle, and then what he has worked on in his time with the Grizzlies. And you saw a little bit of that, I think, in Summer League, where we had him picking up full court. We encouraged him to be more physical defensively into guys' bodies. I thought he did a very good job at that. I do think having 10 fouls for the majority of Summer League helps that. But I mean, that's what we want from him. And like I said earlier, I mean, you got to show that you're able and more importantly willing to guard when your number is called. So that's going to be something that he will be challenged to do. I feel like as we move forward, all the other things offensively is going to be filling that role, whatever that role becomes for him in the season, whatever Coach Jenkins decides that will be, his calling cards, and that's what he's going to be expected to do. Obviously, you want to knock down shots consistently. You want to get to the rim, get to the free throw line, all of those things. Every player can say that. So it's really going to be what role is defined for him moving into the season, and then continuing to grow individually as a player is always important for all of our guys.
By the way, what's the point of having the 10 fouls? So the bigger names don't foul out of a game? I don't get it.
Yeah, I think so. I think, people spend time and money getting to Vegas to come see some of these young players, the higher profile draft picks and priority guys for different teams. So I think, just my opinion, I've never really heard an answer to that, but just my opinion is I assume they want them to always be on the floor, and you're pretty much guaranteeing they're going to be on the floor with 10 fouls, because you can really get after it and you're still not going to foul out a game. So I think that's the point of it.
It's got to be weird as the coach when your assistant's like, hey, that's 8 on him. That's 8. Got to watch him. Scottie Pippen Jr. knew to use him, and he was unbelievable defensively because he knew he could be as physical as he wants. So what if they call fouls?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we talked about that the first day of our Summer League training camp. I mean, we wanted to be a physical team. I think defensively, that was kind of our calling card, especially with our roster changing daily with some injuries throughout the course of Summer League. So we knew defensively that's where it had to be. And if we were a little over-aggressive or a little too physical, so be it. So, and like you said, I mean, Scotty, unbelievable months for him. I mean, he definitely took advantage of that.
And I'm assuming that if this was a regular season game, a playoff game, whatever, you could have used Edey, right? It wasn't that serious the 2 times he had the ankle issues.
I think the best way to answer that, as not to speak specifically on him, I think any draft pick, first round, second round, whatever, I think every organization will always be cautious in those moments. So I don't think that just pertains to one player. I think I mean, you saw a lot of teams throughout the course of the month in summer league where they just shut guys down. And I've seen that throughout the course of my time in the league. And that was never the case. We never shut him down. If he was able to go, we wanted him out there. But obviously, like I said, with every team, you want to be cautious and be smart with them throughout the course of that month.
For you personally, the transition back to the NBA bench as an assistant coach, we see this, and I've seen it, and I'm going to miss you in the G League part of it. But I'd imagine, like, we see other guys do this. It's probably a bit of a tough decision. What's better is your development as a coach, of the chance to be a head coach at the G League level or an assistant coach at the NBA level. You've done both before. So kind of just talk about that for you in this offseason and now going back to the NBA bench.
Yeah, I think I've learned very quickly every decision in this league is a tough decision because I don't think on paper there's any correct path for any coach wanting to achieve their goals. So I think every decision is always a tough one. You said you're going to miss me there. I'm going to miss you guys. I never thought it would be this tough of a decision, to be honest. I'm going to miss it. The G League I had a great time there. I learned a lot. I loved the situation that the Grizzlies allowed me to be in for those 5 seasons with the hustle. But this was the right time and the right opportunity. I hope not only for me, but for the organization as well. And very grateful that they gave me this opportunity at this time. And I'm definitely excited while, like I said, I am going to miss the G League. It's a lot of fun in the G League and being able to work with these young players. But now it's just a different path, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited to spend more time with Coach Jenkins and be able to learn from him and be with him on a daily basis. I know he's does a great job. So just being able to be with him every day and learn and hopefully help these guys in some way. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
It's interesting because people think about the G League, they think of the development of the players, but also for coaches. Like it's a developing ground. Daignault and others, like we see that like this is a place for coaches to go develop and get that opportunity to become a head coach for maybe a while and then go back to whatever. But yeah, the coaches are developing the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how great it was for me. You probably can tell a little bit with me saying how much I'm going to miss it, but it was great for me. I mean, was in the league for quite a while, and then going and having that experience, there was nothing better for my development. Honestly, like if I had to choose, I think it would be great for all young coaches to experience that for at least a few years. It's a tough road, honestly, in the G League, and it's good to go do that, not only for your development, but it'll humble you a little bit. It'll teach you a lot of lessons as you move forward, X's and O's, and just on those sidelines, having to call those timeouts, those pressure situations, and to face some failure at times is always hits you a little bit at the time, but you learn from it. So, like I said, incredible experience for me. I hope that I learned some things that now I can bring to Coach Jenkins' staff and try to help not only the staff but obviously the players. That's what we're there for.
Well, we're certainly happy for you. We think very highly of you, Jason, and there were a number of other changes that were made with the staff. So, a bunch of different minds coming together. What will hopefully be an outstanding year this upcoming season. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to watching you do your thing and talking to you occasionally. We always appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much. And listen, get some R&R, spend some time with the family before you get back to the grind, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Always great to talk to you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jason.
Coach.
Jason March, now an assistant coach. So he's been an assistant for the Grizzlies, then the Hustle head coach, back to an assistant for the Grizzlies, was with the Kings as well in between there. Guy's put in his time. He's put in his time. I don't know what will happen down the road, but maybe one day he will get his opportunity to become a head coach somewhere in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the goal for all these guys, and I'm sure, like I said, it's a tough decision because it is, like he said, like what's the correct path? There is no, this is exactly the way you're supposed to do it. when you've been an assistant, now you're getting that opportunity as a head coach. Like, okay, am I better off continuing to be a head coach at the G League level, or do I need to get back into that NBA circle? So yeah, I'm sure that was not an easy decision at all. And again, you're hoping you're making the right decision, but you have no idea like if that's going to be the one that works out or not. But
they think highly enough of you to be a part of this staff when they made major overhaul changes to this coaching staff, the changing of the offensive strategy, defensive strategy, all under the leadership and the guidance of Taylor Jenkins, who was always going to be retained, I believe. But as far as the moves that were made, they were some pretty big moves that were made. I mean, sometimes we look at the assistant coach and go, poo-poo, no big deal. They're bringing in the guy from France. They're changing their whole way of looking at things from the coaching standpoint, and hopefully it's for the better. But Jason being a part of that with his relationships with some of these players, certainly that he helped develop in the G League in South Haven, that means an awful lot, I'm sure, to him that he is going to be a part of this moving forward.
Yeah, obviously, I think he's a heck of a coach. And
so do I.
They've put a big importance on player development with this new staff, and certainly he has shown with what he's done with guys in the G League, a great at player development. But he's entertaining on the sideline. I'm going to miss it because he says some funny stuff at times on the sideline that most people you don't hear it or anything else, but he'll mumble some stuff to referees or other stuff, or just to us. He'll turn around and say stuff to us that's absolutely hilarious. So I'm going to miss that. He's an entertaining guy to have around.
But at least he'll still be here, right? He's not leaving the city. He's not going to another organization. When we come back, speaking of organizations, Major League Baseball, a team has made a managerial change. I'm sure you can guess what team. You probably don't even know who the manager is. We'll tell you about that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you're looking to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees, then Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, Arkansas is the place for you. At Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, you can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and is now available to everyone. A membership is $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar, all less than 15 minutes from downtown and midtown Memphis. Meadowbrook Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on and Cleveland clubs. If golf isn't for you, try the social membership for only $250 a month. And there's 2 levels of all-inclusive junior memberships, $20 to $29 for $200 a month and $30 to $34 for $250 a month. Call for your tee time today at Meadowbrook Country Club, 870-394-4186. Now semi-private Tuesday through Sunday. Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, 870-394-4186.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the DQ $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Not just a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, plus fries, drink, and a sundae, all full-size, all for $7. Because everything's better with bacon. Everything's also better with a side of fries, a refreshing drink, and a sundae to finish. Yum. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. DQ. Happy tastes good.
The best golfers on the PGA Tour are coming to Memphis to kick off the FedEx Cup playoffs at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news. Our coverage from TPC Southwind and Sports 56 and 98.5 FM is brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Also sponsored by Sissy's Log Cabin, First National Bank, Ronnie Grisani's, Banyan Tree Realtors, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, and South Haven Supply.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to give back to communities across the state. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. They're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers and tournament participants as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield helps communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is an ACUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:31 the time. Thanks to Jason March for joining us on the program. The Chicago White Sox, Eli, have made a managerial change. Pedro Griffel out. And it's hard to believe that they fired him after the job he did.
Why now? Like why not? Like what? He ends the 21-game losing streak, and now you fire him.
I have no idea. I can tell you
they
one
didn't want
guy.
to give their interim manager. We don't want you to inherit the losing streak. Once it's over, we'll get rid of him and give you a job.
I can tell you one guy who's happy is Ozzie Guillen. Man, he's been all over the White Sox, the former White Sox skipper.
I know a guy who's happy. Pedro Griffel, probably. I'd be happy to not be managing that crap again. Goodness gracious. Like, what do they expect him to do?
Well, win a game every once in a while, even with the players he has, but they just traded away a bunch of the guys that had okay talent, although they still have Lewis Robert, right? He's still on the team.
Yeah,
they didn't
having
trade
a terrible year and injured most of the time.
Yeah, but they didn't trade him. And they didn't trade away Crochet, pitcher. But everybody else they pretty much traded away. You still have... This is one of those deals where I think...
And didn't get much for him.
No, not at all. This is one of those deals where you would lose the lunch bet if you were playing Dead or Alive with Jerry Reinsdorf. Because I would guess that he's been gone for a long time. He's not. And still calling the shots. And he wants a new stadium, for goodness sakes, because it becomes more attractive when he sells the team. Because that's what he's going to do. It's probably telling his family that I'm shunning you, I'm getting rid of the team, but no, he would probably, I would assume, leave his fortune to his family. But, you know, trying to put lipstick on a pig here with this team, with this organization. So it's an embarrassment. It's going to fall on the general manager and fall on the manager. So this time it's the manager. Who's the GM? I remember years it was Kenny Williams, but who's the White Sox GM? Do you know?
I don't remember. Getz. I don't know the first name. I think it's Getz.
Bernie Getz? Chris Getz.
I believe his first name is Nug.
It is Chris Getz.
Chris, there you go.
Yeah. But no sign on whether or not he'll get canned, but the manager is done.
Griffel ends up. I thought he was right at the loss last night. His, I'm going to go on a limb and say his managerial career is over.
Safe guess.
Probably not going to get another managerial job. So his managerial career, he will end 101 games under 500.
What was the total numbers?
89 and 190. I was thinking he was right at a good round. I thought maybe that's why they did it, because I was thinking he was right at the 100 games under 500. But I guess that was after the win the other night, and so the loss put him to 101. So they should have fired him after the win. A nice even 100 under 500 is a much better mark for a manager.
What other MLB managers may, in fact, see a pink slip under their door before the season is over? What teams are we looking at maybe making a move?
Before the season is over?
Or at the end of the season, whatever. Oakland? Again, is it the fault of the manager? Who's the manager in Oakland?
Oakland
it's not. No.
Oakland is
It's not Scott Service, right? He's with. I'm looking it up here.
It's Mark Kotsay. I would not have got that right.
They could make a move. Who else?
It's Kotsay's first year, right?
It's his first year? Let me see if I can find that. Kotze.
I think if...
Come on, where is this? Mark Kotze is... No, he was hired in December of 2021.
Oh, okay. I was thinking they made a move.
He replaced Bob Melvin. So Kotze's been there for...
I was thinking there was something in between those two days.
3 seasons. So, again, he's not been given much to work with, but Kotze could easily be with services with Seattle. He's fine, I would think. How about Toronto?
I think Toronto could.
Schneider. That's John Schneider. He's only been there for... He was hired mid-season July of 2022, so mid-season of the 2022 season for Charlie Montoyo. So he's basically 2 years at the helm. What about Miami? 43-72, but they just had a spring cleaning. And it's not even...
Again, they give that... I don't like... They're...
It's not even Wayne Huizenga owning them and doing what he did when they won the 2 World Series titles. But for Miami, it is Skip Schumacher, the former Cardinal, who is in his second year. So he may survive. He replaced Don Mattingly. They had Mattingly there for a long time.
They exceeded expectations last year greatly, so it probably set up some false expectations for this year.
Right.
So maybe they, I don't know, like, do they weigh last year more, this year more? I don't know.
Here's one I'll guarantee you moves made. Colorado, 42-73. Bud Black is their skipper. Bud Black has been around since November of 2016. So his first season was the 2017 season. Was hired in November of 2016. He's one of the elder statesmen of managers in baseball. They'll make a move there. Bud Black will be fired.
Yeah, they've given him nothing to work with.
No, but still.
That roster is...
It's bad.
So bad.
But who pays the price? The manager.
The money they spent was very poorly spent. Chris Bryant has been a disaster.
Charlie Blackmon has not been the same, and I know that's he's homegrown, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They have a lot of young players, a lot of guys that people have not heard of, Tovar, but Hunter Goodman, friend of the show, on that team. Hunter continues to struggle. You know, have a game where he hits a bomb and a double and knocks in 4, and then he'll go 1 for the next 15. He's just, unfortunately, been very inconsistent, still struggling with the breaking pitches. I don't think there'll be too many other moves made. I don't necessarily think, the Nats, I don't think they'll make a move. Maybe they will, but Dave Martinez has been there a while. He's been there since 2017. They've had problems with injuries over the years and then trades. They've dumped a lot of their real big-time named players. Do you remember who Dave Martinez replaced in Washington? 2017? I didn't remember this. I just saw it.
Nationals manager before Dave Martinez.
Kind of took me back for a second.
Boy, Davey Johnson.
No, not that far back. Dusty Baker.
Oh, that's right. Baker was there.
I don't even remember. I'm looking at this like the Dodgers and the Marlins. They're 2 current coaches. Roberts took over in 2015. Schumacher for the Marlins, again, maybe he doesn't survive, took over in 2022. Both replaced Don Mattingly. So Don Mattingly was the predecessor to 2 skippers in the National League. Yeah, so I don't think there'll be a ton of moves, quite honestly. But we'll see. All right.
In the current world, I mean, there's so many teams in contention. It's like if you're keeping your team, some of these that are not supposed to be in contention, and they'll miss the playoffs. But if you've kept your team in contention, are they going to fire you for that? I wouldn't think so. And there's so many guys that are in their second or first, second years already that like you can't be making a move every single year.
No, see, that's a good point. But the trend is that these managers are not lasting. I wonder what the longevity of managers are the last 10 years. It's probably a little over 3 seasons. And the latter point you made, or the former point you made, was where they are if they're in contention. I would think that some organizations will be happy if their teams are in contention all the way to the end, even if they come up short. But others, even if you were in contention and you don't make the postseason, that may be grounds for a change. Again, I'm looking at, obviously, Tampa is 10 games out, but it's Tampa. They have been really, really good, and Kevin Cash has been really, really good. Boston's not making a move. They're 9 games over 500. Toronto may be the one in that division. In the Central, I mean, they're all pretty good. Detroit's only 5 games under 500, and the White Sox are terrible, and they just fired their manager. In the West, the Angels just brought in Ron Washington, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, maybe Ron retires. He is 87 years old, I believe. Oakland probably makes a move. I don't think Washington does. Maybe Miami. The Mets, if it was going as bad as it was early in the year, Montoya might have been gone or Mendoza, rather, may have been gone quickly. But they're right there in the playoff hunt. And then in the West, in the National League, Colorado. I mean, San Francisco's 500. They got Kapler, the former Philly skipper. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be too many moves.
Right now at Genesis Diamonds, one of their best deals they've ever offered you. All GIA certified diamond engagement rings marked down an extra 20% off. Now that's on top of Genesis, who already gives you unbelievably low prices to begin with. Direct importer prices, taking out the middleman on those diamonds. But right now, an extra 20% off those great prices on all GIA certified diamond engagement rings. So you can get on over there, and this is for a limited time only. So if you're thinking about popping the question, thinking about getting engaged, right now is the time to take advantage of this special offer from Genesis Diamonds. Great selection, unbelievable selection of every size, shape, whatever it is that you're looking for, they're going to have you. And right now, an extra 20% off. They're already amazing prices. They're great people over there. Will help you pick out that perfect ring and allow you to save up to 20%. But again, this is for a limited time only. So get on over there to Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Got a little NBA news when we return. Our final segment coming up. Let's update you on what's happening at the Olympic Games in Paris. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not if you call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 1-524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns, to turnovers, and overturned plays.
After review, passes incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV, and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
For retro cruiser styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low-slung seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors for this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to Bussetto Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with high-end style and performance to enjoy every second. Never use the street as a racetrack. With the law, with the owners of each other.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:47 the time. Bet Online has put together their odds for most improved player for this upcoming NBA season. That's a tough one to judge. I mean, I understand what it means, but like what are they judging it on? How many games did the player play the previous year? Like, for example, the number 2 pick, who was originally the number 1 pick, the best odds, it's dropped a little bit, is Victor Wembanyama. 19-2. That's plus 950. If he wins, that's good money, but why would he be most improved? He was really good his first year. I mean, I don't understand. I guess if he's the MVP, Jonathan Kuminga is number 1 at 9-1. I thought Kuminga took a nice step forward last year, but he has plenty of room to become that next level, get to that next level, which would be becoming a star. He's a very solid player. He's 9-1. Evan Mobley is 10-1. Jalen Johnson, 14-1. Josh Giddey, now with the Bulls, 14-1. Jalen Williams, 18-1. Scotty Barnes, 18-1. Cade Cunningham is 22-1. On and on and on. That's a tough one, how you judge the most improved.
No, it's just I wouldn't Ja one. It's the way that the award has gone many times is a guy who is really good, but doesn't break through to that he has that year where he becomes the all NBA player, that type stuff.
Right.
And Ja was really good before he won it, but you have that year where you kind of really establish yourself among the elite players. I think Jalen Williams is a very good candidate for that this year, although I just don't know with all of the other talent there if he's going to have the opportunity because he's not the number 1 option for them.
You know why I like, I'm not saying that they would be my pick, but they fit the category well, is I guess the first one I would look at is Scoot Henderson, who got hurt. Now, Portland's going to suck. But if Scoot Henderson can be that stud that people think he can become, he's 33-1. The other one is, and I love this guy, is Benedict Mathurin, who got hurt as well. But, man, he was putting up good numbers. He's also 33-1. Like, to me, those guys would fit the billing of most improved if they had that type of year this upcoming season. But Victor Wembanyama doesn't make sense.
Scoot doesn't fit it. Again, I mean, because generally it's guys who have already been really good. They just take that next step. Like Scoot has Scoot needs to have a good year, and then the following year would be the type of candidate that wins it generally.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, like Tyrese Maxey won it this past year. Laurie Markkinen before that. Ja before that.
Right.
Julius Randle before that. Brandon Ingram. Those guys were all average like 20 points a game before they even, and then won Most Improved Player.
Well, this is the guy who got hurt. So if he turns around and all of a sudden he's a stud, people may look at it and go, man, this guy went from being hurt to being a stud. See, that's why I would think that he may not fit the prototype of what you're saying, but I think that's a guy who could skyrocket. And they would take notice of him coming off an injury and being great, like all-star caliber type player. I don't know if he'll ever be. Who knows? But I think that he could be. Scotty Barnes, 18-1. What do you think about him? He was an all-star, was he not?
He fits the type of thing of guys who win.
Yeah, you were just talking about that. So, 18-1 there. Cade Cunningham, 22-1. So, anyway, that's some of the numbers for Most Improved Player for the upcoming 24-25 NBA season.
Team USA today against Serbia, 16-point favorite against Nikola Jokic and company, having beaten them in an exhibition game and then beat them in a pool play game. Now they get Serbia for a third time, and they are 16-point favorites.
What were the scores? Do you remember, or do you have that in front of you? The first two, including the preseason or the exhibition game?
Do not know. They won by around 20, I believe, in the pool play game, if I remember correctly.
I hit the over in their last game against Brazil. I don't know about this one. It's not a ton of points, but if Jokic gets help, if Bogdanović hits some threes.
In the exhibition, it was 105-79. In pool play, it
26.
was 110-84.
26. I got to take the over. I think it's a little low.
Take the over.
I'm sorry. Take
USA.
Take USA minus the 16, excuse me. Right? I mean, if the two previous were 26-26, these guys are playing for a shot at the gold medal. They're going to, you would assume, play better. Now, Serbia may play better as well. You have the great player in Jokic, but does he get the support? They got it the last game to get into the semis. But like I said, Bogdanović and all those guys that shoot threes, Jovic, they got to make them. And if they do, then it could be an interesting game. But I would take the United States minus 16. The other game, do you have the odds for France and Germany? That could be a really fun game. I think that's evenly matched right there. Speaking of Victor Wembanyama, he goes for France. Dennis Schroeder, the Wagner brothers for Germany.
Germany is a 5-point favorite in that one.
I think that game is coming down to a final possession, maybe overtime.
That USA game, by the way, is at 2 o'clock today. Will be the USA versus Serbia game. And right before that is when Noah Lyles will try and make it his double gold with the 200-meter final, which comes at 1:30 Central Time this afternoon. If you want to watch it live, or you can wait till tonight and watch it many hours after the fact.
Or do both.
You can watch it twice. You can watch it once and then maybe try and find somebody who doesn't know it already happened and try and bet them when the race happens tonight. see if you can get a good bet in on them.
Tonight also, NFL preseason week 1, 2 games on tap for tonight. The Panthers and the Patriots, the Lions and the Giants. We're going to get a mixed bag from teams on whether or not they play their prized rookies. Some teams will. Some teams plan on doing so. Some do not. And then you have news as far as veterans are concerned where most of them will not play, especially game 1. But you have the news from the other day with Christian McCaffrey, because of a calf injury, will not go at all for the 49ers. Kyler Murray will not go at all for the Arizona Cardinals. Like I said, there'll be a long list of veteran players who will not be playing whatsoever. Still no movement on the Brandon Ayuk situation. whether or not the 49ers will end up dealing him before the start of the season or whether or not Ayuk will end up staying there. It's not a good situation. Also, you got the whole problem with Dallas and CeeDee Lamb, see if they can figure something out as well before they kick off the season. That's going to do it for us today. We appreciate you listening, folks, as always, watching if you're viewed us on any of the social media platforms. I want to thank Kerry Miller and Jason March for joining us on the program today. Tomorrow, among our guests, John Bartles, who will join us at 7:25. We'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We'll get it all started at 7 a.m. Be there. Aloha. Coming up next, Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. For Eli and Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everyone.